Hey guys, before we start the show, just want to quickly shout out our corporate dirtbags. Number one, we have versatileterrain.co.uk. Keith's an awesome dude, making nameplates for your miniatures. Get your miniatures battle ready with versatileterrain.co.uk. Next up is Grimdark Terrain, grimdarkterrain.com. Rudolph over there in Germany, pumping out fucking amazing terrain for all your quarter scale needs. Do you need terrain for your aeroplane game, whatever that's called? Aeronautilus? That's not right. Aeronautica, Titanicus, Epic, those sort of games. Wouldn't look out of place in BattleTech either. Check out grimdarkterrain.com. Skeleton Games and Terrain is a link in the show notes to the YouTube channel for Skeleton Games and Terrain. Get yourself some 3D design models. Crystal Fortress, crystal-fortress.com. Head over there, get an amazingly designed and looking miniature case to not only transport but protect your models. Black Label Painting, check out Black Label Painting on Facebook for all of your Titans and Knights and things like that getting painted needs. Black Label Painting are a painting service. And then last but not least, Quartermaster, hashtag by Quartermaster. Quartermaster on the iTunes store. There's a new edition out. You need to update your phone to, I think it's iOS 14 maybe? But yeah, new edition is out. So check out all of our corporate dirtbags. There's links in the show notes, but these guys make products that we enjoy and they help fund the show. Alright, here we go. This is the very last Warmonger, not very last Warmonger, but the very last Astartes Legion early meta review. And we've got a very special guest from the UK. Here we go.
Prepare for teleport!
Welcome to Warmonger, episode 18. This is the final episode that we're doing on the Legions. However, asterisk, bunch of asterisks is there. I'll cover that after I introduce the my special guest. Now, I saved for last, and I came up with this idea earlier. I was like, oh, should we start and just go through them, starting with number 1, Dark Angels, number 2, obviously can't do that one, number 3, in order, or should we do a ridiculous jump back and forth? Because I wanted to talk about Alpha Legion, because I've been playing Alpha Legion back then, and hadn't got all my iron hands painted yet. I decided to jump back and forth, and I realized, because I worked it out earlier, that it would finish with the greatest legion of them all. The Iron 10.
The Apex Predators.
Yes, the Apex Predators amongst the legions. And who better than, out of all the people in the Horus Heresy and Horus Heresy community, than Will the Destroyer, a.k.a. Will Henry from Merchant Princelings. Although, do you consider yourself a princeling, or is princelings just the name of the thing? Do you call yourself the princeling? Do you call yourself?
Consider myself like an iron princeling, like a son of Medusa.
Yeah, there you go. So not okay. All right. Well, there you go. Will the Destroyer. So, probably the most famous Iron Hands player in the Horus Heresy, I believe. Definitely like the terror of the tables. Now, are you only Will the Destroyer when using Iron Hands? Or are you Will the Destroyer when using, like, any of your legions, right? Like, you've got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So previously, when it was actually Phil and Max from the Road to Terror podcast that coined the title,
Will the Destroyer.
Will the Destroyer.
Is it just because you beat those fucking knuckleheads? Because, like, if, in that case...
Yeah, exactly.
In that case, that's not, like...
But yeah, so it was previously when I was playing Salamanders back in like first edition, and just crushing skulls with just thunderhammers and just free up invols. And then like it kind of like developed like into Raven Guard, and then like because the plan was to always do like the Shattered Legions, like they were always my 3 ones I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd save the Iron Temp till last. Yeah. Then when I got to the Iron Hands, finally like built an army, got everything ready. Why would you play anything else? Like these are the most badass of all the fucking Legion starties. Like these are just the conquerors. Like, it's just I just bin those other legions off, just throw them in the trash, and now I'm just playing pretty much purely, exclusively Iron Hands with probably some allied detachments going forward.
Whoa,
but mainly Iron Hands.
New allied detachments, because as soon as I got my 2,500 points on the table of Iron Hands, I threw all my Mechanicum stuff just in a dumpster fire, just with some couches and shit.
The correct thing to do, yeah.
So I'm with you. Fucking Iron Hands all day. And if you read the fluff as well, not that Warmonger is about fluff. However, if you read the fluff, the Iron Hands basically did all the actual, like, when you had to actually fight a war. Because, like, all the other legions, it's like, well, what we do is we just, like, use rocks to fucking kill the enemies. Or, what we do is we capture people and then skin them, and then and then the enemy just surrender. Or, we're really good at just killing, like, we kill, like, fucking 20 dudes. It's those 20 key guys, and then the whole arm. But when it's, like, the actual legions that just go like, so what we do is we get fucking 20,000 fucking land raiders and we just roll into an orc horde and we just slowly and methodically just fucking crush and laser cut our way through fucking tens of thousands of orcs, and then we move on to the next horde. Like, it's only the Iron Hands that are doing that, right? It's only the Iron Hands that are actually having tank battles and fucking like punching shit in the face and doing that, right? Think about it. Like, all the other legions, they just use tactics and, like, sneaky fucking poo shit. Like, we dropped a moon on that fucking problem. Or which the Iron Hands also actually good at. As it turns out, they're also good at that. Or doing, like, spaceship bullshit. But, like, Iron Hands, it's like there's that classic battle where they are like, okay, cool, well, we want to, like, crush these orcs, but they're all, like, hiding in their fucking cities. So we need to, like, lure them out. And then they're like, well, we don't want to fucking be there to lure them out because they might just like accidentally kill us. So we'll just send like just a whole fucking army's worth of just basic humans with las guns and shit down. Jump them down just to draw all these orcs in, and then like orcs are just like piling up, and the humans are just like screaming, just like, we're being overrun, fucking save us! And they just like wait for it, and they're like, we're fucking dying! Wait for it, and then they're just about to die, then just like boom, just come out of fucking space just to play a massive fucking tank army, and then just like slowly just fucking just drive it around in like a massive just like sweeping fucking semicircle, just destroying everything in front of it. Just and like we didn't have to like sit there waiting for them to come out of their sheds. We just
just conquer. Like this is one of the things that I think a lot of people, granted, I think the Black Library books do a really poor job at depicting the Iron Hands, but if you read all the other sources, they are just, as you said, they are just conquerors. They just come along and they just get the job done, and then they pack up all their land raiders and their predators, and they roll on to the next war zone, and they just conquer civilizations like remorselessly, just crush them beneath boot and tread, and. I think it's awesome. Like, I think they're a really cool legion, and especially like under Ferrus, because
exactly.
Like they're just cold, calculating, just fucking murderers. And what I think was so cool about them was like, compared to the other legions, he encouraged like dissent and competition between the like captains and the Iron Fathers. So he got them riled up against each other, so that when they were like acting independently, they were always trying to be the best, always trying to just out best each other.
Yeah.
Even after his death, he put them as a legion in a really good position to operate without a Primarch. They still like even throughout the whole what's it called again? Shadow Wars. They were like part of the like Shattered Legions. They were the ones doing all the heavy lifting. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
slowing Horus, like
sending fucking assassin fucking fire raptors to try and like shoot Horus to death, shit like that.
Yeah.
They're the ones doing the actual shit. Yeah, They attacked Bud, and dropped a fucking like moon on it.
Literally, like Ortec more. Yeah, like just some of the lore for him is like there's this one piece of lore where where him and his Urgall company rock up to this planet. It's like a really like healthy planet. Like the Imperial governors all like, oh yeah, like everything's really cool. Like, but we haven't sided for like Horus or the Emperor. So he kind of sees that they're really advanced. They got loads of gear, loads of like warfare, and he's like, cool man, I'll catch you later. Goes back up to his ship and just nukes the planet. It's like, well, if I can't have you 100%, then no one's having you. Like, you can fuck off. Like, and just cyclonic warheads, just completely like neutral planet that could be good or bad, but because he doesn't know, he's like, well, fuck you then. Like,
yeah. Fuck, man, getting shit done. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So yeah.
Getting shit done should be the tagline of the Iron Hands. Yeah. Just getting it done. Like,
yeah, I'm a big Ferrus Manus enthusiast. Although my army isn't sort of like themed around Ferrus Manus, because I want to sort of they're going to be they sort of after Istvaan 5 they get off Istvaan 5 and sort of get involved in like Shadow Wars style shit. So I want to sort of be able to run them as Black Shields and shit maybe as well. But I do have Ferrus Manus, and I am a big like Ferrus Manus enthusiast. But yeah, what you were saying about the clan, like him encouraging the clans to like fuck around with each other or whatever, and like competition between the clans. Yeah, the funniest thing is that he's such just like a fucking grim psychopath that like it's not like oh look fucking Captain fucking Johnson like slid down the mud and like fucking fell in a garbage heap, and they all laugh about it. Like it's like super grim. Like you can just imagine them all sitting around in like a super dark room with all these holograms, and they're just all looking at fucking graphs and being like, yeah, so if you look at my consumption of fuel versus the number of fucking orcs I decapitated, actually you'll find that my clan actually have achieved a higher fucking kill rate to fuel ratio. Like it's that kind of fucking just grim shit. Which is even more hilarious to think about as well. So I don't know. Yeah. The fluff is really good. There's so much you can do with it as well. Obviously, like Ferrus Manus, the elephant in the room. Ferrus Manus gets decapitated by fucking a demon possessed.
The prancing pony, I like to refer to him as.
A demon-possessed, cheating, fucking bullshit, fucking sneaky Fulgrim. Otherwise, and he didn't have his hammer Forge Breaker, because if he did have his hammer, spoiler alert, there's no way Fulgrim, even if a fucking couple of greater demons of Slash came to help him, would be able to kill Ferrus Manus. Ferrus Manus would just fucking destroy them. Just like, oh, hey, keeper of secrets, nice shit. And then just like, oh, tried to stab at me. Well, I had a power field, so fuck you. And then just like fucking just devastating fucking mega, like, brutal 3 hits to the face. Like, holy shit.
Man.
So,
He just
cheated, man.
He just roughed him up. Like in his Primarch book, he makes this. He like builds this like, it's like a Hell in a Cell style like cage like gladiator like room, and his plan is he's going to get all his brothers all the other Primarchs, and he's going to like fight them one-on-one in the cell. And he says to Vulcan, he's like, Vulcan, when are you coming? And we're going to have like a sick wrestling match. And Vulcan's just like, nah, you're right, Ferrus. Like, nah, I don't want to get in a cell with you. Because Ferrus will just crush him. He'll just fucking crush him.
He's going to steal, like, literally metal hands. Like,
he's just ripping apart Terminators with his hands. All these other Primarchs using swords and mace, and he's just pulling them apart. by his hand.
Yeah,
like, it's just got the sickest abs in the whole Imperium.
Well, that's the thing. Unarmed, Ferrus Manus wins against them all, right? Unless you're allowed to use psychic shit. Ferrus Manus wins because he could just punch his fucking hand right into Lorgar and just pull his fucking 3 hearts out and just crush them all in front of him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Punch in, tear out his fucking D6 lungs or whatever, and fucking just like fucking kick, and then just kick his fucking head right off his. Well, he doesn't have metal feet, but probably just like karate chop probably karate chop his arm off or something, right? Like with fucking steel.
Chopping all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's hilarious. Imagine him just trying to get these dudes in the cage. Come in the cage with me. Hey, Russ, come in the cage.
Hell in the cell, and I'm gonna take you all on.
Come in the cage with me, Russ.
You're not gonna be talking your way out of this. But...
so do you think he wanted to get in there with Angron and just like wrestle Angron? Whoa.
Yeah. Because like the whole idea is like the only way you can get better is if you fight the best. Like so, and like warfare with weapons isn't the same as just like fist on fist.
Yeah, I never thought about that because it actually says like his personal philosophy was the strongest rise to the top, etc. And you're like, that's easy to say if you're a fucking toughness 6, wound 6 Primarch motherfucker. Like, of course the fucking your personal philosophy is strongest rises to the top because you're an unkillable fucking killing machine. Like, of course you rise to the top. But yeah, I never thought of like, like I'm gonna fucking wrestle Sanguinus in the cage. Do you think his wings would fit in the cage? Would his wings fit in there?
Oh, I'm sure it would. Like Sanguinus would be like, "Oh, Ferrus, it's all sugar and spice. Shouldn't we have a nice glass of wine?" And Ferrus is like, "No, get in here, bro. I just want to crush you. Like those wings, you can't use them in here. Like it's just strength on strength.
Yeah, strap them back."
Literally, tie him back. He's like, tie him under your mangina. Let's fucking wrestle.
I made these chains for you. Just throws down a whole handful of chains. I forged these last night. They're made of tungsten.
Literally with my hands.
With my bare hands, yeah. With my bare fucking hands. Ooh.
Nice hammer, Vulcan. I'll just use my hands, bro.
Yeah. But, well, I've got to say, I've used them on the table, and we don't go through the Primarch rules, so I guess it'll be fine for me to say this at the start here. But I used him in an event last weekend, and he is a fucking total destroyer on the table. Have you used him? Have you got him?
Yeah, so I've used him probably 15, 20 times now.
Oh, yeah.
I've had to consciously put him back in the display cabinet because it's just like unfair, isn't it? It's just like it's like bringing a baseball bat to a little pinata fight or whatever. You're just going to smash it to pieces every time, and it is so brutal in combat. But he can also I played one game where he was shooting planes out the sky. He's just like, "Oh, nice lightning, bro." Blows out of the sky. Like, "Oh, look, a fire raptor." Just blows out of the sky. And then he just swings his just massive hammer and just fucking murders everything. Yeah.
You get a bonus to snapshots, right? +1 to...
So Primarchs aren't affected by any modifiers to hit, so they don't ever fire snapshots.
Oh my god, that's insane. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I played against a Valdor army first with Custodes, and then a Alpha Legion army, and I got him into combat with both of those dudes, and did at initiative 6, did 15 wounds to each of them. And I had to take their saves, and they both died. Yeah. So, I mean, we fucked up. Valdor should have actually got. Valdor went simultaneously. Whereas Valdor, because we were in a challenge and I was the Warlord, he should have gone at +1 initiative.
Oh, okay.
So he should have gone initiative 7, but he only did 1 wound, one unsaved wound at initiative.
It wouldn't have mattered. He could have gone at initiative 10. He still would have got crushed.
That brutal through is just devastating. Yeah. It's just this is. I played
Angron a while back with Ferrus and did 18 wounds to him at the same initiative, which was 6 hits, 6 wounds, take 18 invols, bro. Oh yeah, you're crushed. Like, where's the next chud to kill? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think like, Have you fought him against Fulgrim?
Yeah, so the one time I played him against Fulgrim, it was one of them games where like you like had to be like honourable, and it was like we'll have a challenge. And granted, I think my rolls were piss poor, and I proper fluffed it. And I mean, just like what happened in the books, Ferrus lost, which was like the only time that he was like killed in combat, which was pretty upsetting. But yeah, Fulgrim did then get poddy checked by a Leviathan and just fucking like ground into the ground. So yeah. Silver linings, eh? But yeah, like I think like if he can just fight just like anything else, I think the weapon skill 8 ones he might struggle with. But you only need like a few hits. Like they can get 6 hits on you, but if you get 2 hits on them, it's the same amount of wounds, which is the crazy thing about it. Like,
You will have that turn where you just roll like 4 5s and just go, oh, you're fucking fucked.
See you in hell. Like.
Yeah, the weapon skill thing is brutal. Yeah. But it can't get worse, right? Like it can't get worse than 5s to hit against any Primarch? Or Russ, maybe? Russ is Russ neg 1 and...
Yeah, I think it's only Russ. If he charges, then he'd be 6s to hit because he's got that stupid armour thing, whatever it is.
I'll save him for last.
Is it winter frost armour? Yeah.
I'm going to try and hunt down Primarchs now. I've already got 2 out of, 19? I'll have to kill 2 Alphariuses? I guess 2 Alphariuses, right?
Oh, you may as well just fight the pair of them together, and it'll be still not even a fair fight. So yeah.
Well, the rest of the
you just need to work your way through them and just
the rest of the custodes
just like tick them all off.
Yeah. The rest of those custodes though were fucking troubling. Like I had to spend a turn sort of like hacking through a bunch of guys, and then I had a really bad turn of hits. And on that turn, I just lost like all the terminators, and took like another wound of Ferrus. But the thing that I did find really good though was the shooting. Like because he's got a plasma blaster and a haywire blaster. I was able to just do like a Overwatch and just blow like like an Iron Hands double shot Overwatch or whatever, and just blow like a whole dreadnought to just dead. So
you just nuke it before it even hits.
Yeah. So, what a monster! All right. So do you have any like with your Iron Hands? Do you have any like wreaths or trophies or anything that say like you're the deadliest man at this event or anything like that?
Oh yeah. So I've got like. There aren't a lot of tournaments actually in the UK. I think 2.0 we've kind of seen pseudo tournaments where it's almost pitched as a narrative event, but there's like placings, so first, second, third, and all that.
Yeah.
And I've done pretty well in both 1.0 and 2.0. So like in 1.0 I never ran Ferrus or anything, and it was only in 2.0 that I was like, well, because thank you very much for that. Because I never planned to kind of run the Primarch, because it was like, oh well, Ferrus is gone, so they're just going to be like almost like you were talking about, just a Shattered Legion, fight a Shadow War with the others as well. But then when second edition 0.3 or whatever we're into now came out, it was like, I need to use this guy. I need to get some battlefield data on this guy, because you can't pass judgment on stuff without having tried it on the table. I went to like LGT, which was like a big like London-esque tournament, and the Iron Hands like crushed that and came first, did pretty well, and like a few other events as well. I've like killed the most things, or like murdered the most that. Iron Hands conquered quite a lot. Like they're quite feared now. I think originally when second edition came out, everyone thought Iron Hands were like pretty good. They were like, like they were like middle, like top of the.
Well, they basically just kept the same shit. They kept the same, neg 1 strength rule, and then they just lost a bunch of stuff out of a bunch of. Warlord traits, right?
They haven't really changed, but in this edition, the changes
except for haywire, except for like the good old haywire blaster, I guess.
Yes, the Haywire shotgun. Like,
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool as well.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, Iron Hand's armies were definitely like, they were kind of rare in first edition. I want to say, like, there's a
I think so. I agree.
Few, like Iron Hands dudes that that have been playing Iron Hands since the very beginning, and they've got all the Volkite Culverins and all the Volkite shit in the entire world is like condensed into like one army of just pure Volkite. But yeah, with this new edition, and with Ferrus Manus not being able to exchange his hammer,
it's just flat.
I mean, it kind of means that I guess it's like a this is like the what if edition. What if Ferrus didn't get killed, and he gets to just fight all the traitor fucking Primarch fuckheads, and then go to Terra and fight them there as well. Fucking imagine if that's so crazy. We can only dream. I don't want to wish list too hard, but imagine if he didn't die at Istvaan 5 and he escaped somehow, just ran away. Like, oh shit, he's demon possessed. I'm out of here. And then just, and also we're being surrounded by the traitors. I'm out of here. And then somehow managed to get back to Terra, and then was just like fighting devils and shit on the walls.
Oh my god, yeah. Like a Warmonger just like teleports in.
Yeah.
Straps like an etheric jump Ujima flip onto Ferrus, and it's like, go my lord, like you've got many more wars to fight. Like, just fucking flies out of there.
Just like,
no. See you in hell, Fulgrim!
See you at Terra, Fulgrim, you fucking idiot! I'm gonna get all my really good weapons. I'm gonna get all my good shit, and I'll meet you there. Yeah. I'm gonna get my gun that kills fucking devils. I think, exactly.
Yeah.
So fucking crazy.
It's like even like one of Fulgrim's like main jobs was to bring Ferrus to Horus's side. Horus was like, if I have Ferrus and the Iron Hands, then there's no way I'm not like overthrowing the Emperor. Do you know what I mean?
Don't need those fucking Ultramarines idiots or the Blood Angels or the Dark Angels.
Mooks,
fuck
mate,
them.
all of them. Yeah. So like,
fuck all those idiots. As long as we have the Iron Hands.
Yeah. Because they're just even without Ferrus, they're just absolute remorseless, just murderers. They just like they have this sense of like duty amongst themselves that is just, we need to be the best of the best at all times, but we don't care about what the others think about using a sword well or flying planes good. Like, they're just like, it doesn't matter. Like, we don't need to measure ourselves against others. We just need to measure ourselves against victories that we kind of bring upon us, and just need to conquer and just destroy everything.
And if you read, there's that famous quote from Ferrus Manus about how, like, he's basically like, oh, we're not here to fucking teach people shit or set up fucking hospitals. Like, we're just here to, like, we're here to fight again and again and just crush enemy fucking civilizations again and again and just beat the Empire into a vessel fit for the human race to thrive. Basically, that's his thing. Is just like, I'm never gonna stop just destroying fucking aliens in the fucking in the fucking asteroid rims and shit. And that's their whole thing. It's just fucking endless crushing of fucking the enemies of mankind. So that's the problem. I just don't see him fucking turning on the Emperor. So
100%.
It makes the story really exciting. I think people underestimate how powerful though, and this is some real talk. I think like people just go, "Oh, Ferrus died." I think people don't. I think people like super underestimate what like a huge fucking massive fucking big deal it was. Like when
I completely agree.
When like it gets back to the Imperial Court, everyone would have just been like, "What the hell?" Like just like start ringing bells and shit. Holy fuck, Ferrus Manus is dead. What the fuck? No one would have believed that Fulgrim could have killed him as well. I don't think. Like, it's so crazy.
Rabute is the one that says, like, of all my brothers, I will miss Ferrus the most. Like, he's the one that you could always rely on. He's the one that would always be there. And losing Ferrus when they did, like, was huge. And actually as well, like, losing Ferrus, Vulcan, and Perturabo on the same day. Like, the Emperor lost his 3, like, scientist Primarchs in just one day. Like, like, the loss to the Imperium is just absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And Ferrus would be the one that was missed the most, because he just would have got shit done.
Yeah.
Get shit done. Chat shit. Get Ferrus. Yeah.
Well, one thing I have decided that I need is I've got to find I got to find like an STL file for like Forgebreaker, but just print like a human-sized one.
Oh, because you're quite like a mighty man as well, so you could probably weld it.
I wouldn't say I'm a
quite
mighty man, but I'm over 6 feet tall. So yeah, I could. Yeah, it'd be fucking sick. And I do have graying hairs on the side of my head, much like classic art of Ferrus Manus. But like fuck yeah, after painting the model and like painting his, I took it around Michael's house and he painted the skin because I fucking hate skin. And Michael had has this like one of those like, you know, those fucking, it's all like wrapped in a black velvet bag and shit, and you like open it and it's got this like secret little booklet and shit, and you have to unlock a little fucking chain and stuff and like pull out all these different pots and then follow this like secret order, like and then patter it like this and then tut and all this shit, and then just did like pro skin on it, and then I painted the rest of him. But painting his hammer.
Kind of fitting though. Yeah.
Painting his hammer there, I was just like, oh, Forgebreaker, you're so hot. Ooh yeah, just like a fucking screaming golden eagle fucking hammer. It's so good in the game, dude. Strength 12. What the fuck? What the fuck? On
the hammer as well, which is like pretty cool. They're like X on the actual like hammer face of it. Like, I'm gonna crush you 10 times.
Yeah, fuck, so hot, so good. Strength, and then just like strength 12, fucking with Exoshock as well. Exoshock 3+. Like holy fuck! Like there's no way. Like you're firing off your attacks before a dreadnought, and you're hitting on 3s. And you're fucking wounding on 2s, and then it's brutal 3, and then for every wound you then roll another d6, and on a 3+, that's an extra fucking strength 12 hit that you then roll.
I think that's only against vehicles.
No, it's against dreads as well.
No.
Yeah, isn't it?
Dunno,
yeah, I'm pretty sure they make extra shot
for this point going forward.
Oh, I've stopped Will the Destroyer. I'm getting my rulebook out if people can't hear me in the background. I'm sure I read Exoshock against dreads as well. Yeah, here we go. Oh no.
It'll be somewhere. It's probably not even in the rulebook. It's probably in some weird other place, isn't it? Like,
oh yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. It's only penetrating hits. Oh, I thought it was against. I thought it re-rolled like it was actually against dreads too.
That would just be unfair for everybody, though, wouldn't it? Except the one using Ferrus. Yeah.
But
still, Exoshock 3+. Any tank he hits, see you later. Do you know what I mean? Like nice Warlord Titan, bro. See you later. Like, snap, you're out. Like,
well, think about like a knight. Like a knight is just fucked, right?
Yeah. Like, completely. Like, hasn't got a chance. Yeah. Like. You're glancing on ones, and you're probably hitting it on like 3s, mastercrafted, and then just.
I guess it makes it makes like what Horus did to just you remember how Horus in the fluff, like there's it's like house they're like the Viking house, like traitor dudes in like the grey armor. And and he like teleports down to meet their seneschal and then just fights it with Worldbreaker and just beats it down and like kills it and goes like, yeah, I'm in charge of your fucking knight house now. Yeah, it makes that make a lot more sense with the current rules for knights, because you can just beat the shit. Yeah. Like I don't. It's gonna be. I think it'd be really hard for a knight to even hurt a Primarch. Like hitting on 5s, you're getting your 3+ invulnerable. Like a dreadnought. I had a dreadnought just run up my knight and just kill it. Like, boom, dead. It's just like, just punch it to death.
A Weldier one as well, just like would absolutely smash him. Or like an Emperor's Children one as well, would just absolutely crush him. Like,
yeah. Alright, well, remember Exoshock. If you're running Ferrus Manus, remember Exoshock and his hammer. It might save your life against a knight. Might just get you might get a free extra like 5 fucking auto like 5 extra pens or something. All right, cool. Well, any other last final thoughts on Iron Hands or Ferrus Manus before we hit the rules?
think we could just talk for days about how badass
How
they
fucking
are.
awesome
but
they are,
we should
yeah.
probably stop gushing over it and actually get down to the nitty gritty and how these boys work on the tabletop.
Do you remember that bit? Where, do you remember that bit where there's like a ship full of those dudes? I think it's in like it's in the one where Perturabo and Fulgrim have their little like adventure together into the Eye of Terror or around the Eye of Terror.
Oh yeah, like
and there's an Iron Hand ship, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, while we're trying to like sneak away from the traitors, what I might do is just fucking try an operation where I just hook up the main drive of our ship while it's going to like for a science project to see if I can just like, you know, unteleport or just some fucking bullshit." And he fucks it, and the ship just like blows out its fucking power or some shit, and then sends out this blast wave that all the traitors can see. So they're just like, "Fuck, what are these dickheads doing?" And then and then the Emperor's children invade their ship. But the bit I'm trying to get to is the Iron Hands are just like, "Oh, you're invading our ship. That's cool." And they just open all these internal doors and then just drive rhinos in, and then just start like shooting from rhinos.
Just put it as a rhino.
Just do like a rhino rush on them as they're trying to like invade their ship. Just rhino rush.
Drop you into hell, bro. Like,
nice landing attack. We're gonna rhino rush you in our fucking rhino. Yeah, it's fucking sweet.
Put it in forward and just gun it. Like, that's all you need.
Perturabo is just like, "Oh, I know exactly where the driver sits, so I'll just shoot him through the rhino with my wrist cannon." Ha ha ha. Yeah, fucking Perturabo. Okay, anyway, let's get onto the rules for the Iron Hands. So basically, their number one rule is -1 strength on all shooting against infantry and dreadnoughts and bikes and shit like that. Vehicles.
So everything that isn't a vehicle, -1 strength.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah. Which is pretty big because it just like saves you from so much like instant death shit. Anything that's strength 8, no longer instant death, bro. Sorry, your missile launchers, I'm not afraid as much.
Yeah, like that's something that I found in this edition especially. Strength 8 seems to be a lot more prevalent than in previous ones. So you've got Predators, they've got Predator cannons, you've got Arcuses, you've got Scorpiuses, you've got a lot more Strength 8. And in this edition,
you got Alpha Legion running Fulminterus Terminators.
Tyrants are only strength 8. So that Legion rule, you think it won't make a huge difference, but it's every time you shoot something, it comes into play. Like the amount of times I have to remind my opponent, like, it's minus 1 strength, bro, and they're like, "Oh, fucking hell, again!" And I'm like, "Yeah, everything you shoot."
Only winning on 5s. Your bolt guns are shit against me. Yeah, your bolt guns are basically strength 3 against me. Yeah, classic.
Nice las gun, bro. I've got a rapid fire grenade launcher that I'm going to shoot back with. Like,
yeah, even just changing culverins from 2s down to 3s. You know, it's just those extra wounds that you're just like cucking people from are worth it.
It's quite a big difference, yeah. Right.
And then once you, as you said, once you get to the higher strengths, just being able to like, all your melter guns or your multi-melters, like your Alpha Legion sneaky
all the melter weapons,
your sneaky Alpha Legion, what are they called? Fucking...
headhunters.
Yeah, headhunters with a precision shot multi-melter, precision shot 4+ multi-melter. Fuck you! You can only do one wound. Like I got a 3+.
Please put it on my Warlord. Yeah. He will live, whatever happens.
Yeah, it's so good. Because like, I genuinely think like, after all the games I played, I've just been like thinking, sitting there, just like watching my shit get crushed or crushing itself, and like, I've got to say, like, surely a 10-man melter gun squad is extremely good value, right?
100%.
Just fucking running around in your lines, just solving problems by executing entire units, intercepting on dreadnoughts and shit, just fucking murdering vehicles or whatever. Melter seems to be like, this is like the Melter edition, right? Like the King.
Yeah,
King
it's
Melter?
the Melter and Las-Cannon edition.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Las-Cannon's got a really good...
Las-Cannons are really good at killing dreads, but if you shoot it at an Iron-Hand Leviathan, you're only winning on 4s. If you shoot it at an Iron-Hand's Contemptor, you're only winning it on 3s. Like, So suddenly it's not as reliable as it is against every other legion for like killing dreads and larger things.
Yeah.
And yeah, the altars seem to be everywhere as well. With Armored Ceramite being removed from the game, there seem to be a lot more. And Iron Hands are like, cool man, it's fine. Like I've got a 3-up invul and I've got 3 wounds. I'll take a melter gun to the face.
Yeah.
Oh look, I get feel no pain as well. Like it's just it's a really, it's nice that it hasn't changed. And I think that one of the strange things about that rule is it kind of makes Iron Hands like a really good shooting legion. Not because their shooting's any better than anybody else's, like the Imperial Fist or the Night Lords either. It just makes when they get shot so much tougher. So it has that weird kind of like backwards factor of making them really good at shooting because they're just so more resilient to shooting. Yeah. Their shooting's not any better, which is cool, and I think it plays in really well to the kind of like lore and theme to the Iron Hands, and even like Feel No Pain. Like the Legion has more access to Feel No Pain than like any other Legion as well. And
that's true.
Because of the -1 strength, they benefit from it so much more. Like,
having Ferrus in the army just gives you everyone a 6+ Feel No Pain. It's cool.
Everything.
Somehow he's like, hey,
infantry,
don't forget your band-aids, boys. And they're like, oh, we always forget, Ferrus. Thank God you're here. That's why you're the Primarch. Initiative 6.
Shut up, bro.
Yeah. Exactly what you're saying is just like music to my ears. So vehicles don't get that, but vehicles do get it will not die 6+, and that stacks with, spoiler alert, another thing which gives you it will not die 6+, so you can get 5+ for like 10 points, I think it is.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Yeah.
Also stacks the Ferrus Manus as well. So your vehicles, if you have Ferrus Manus in the army, you can stack up to 4+. It will not die in a vehicle, which like it sounds good. It sounds alright. You getting wounds back every now and then is good. I just don't have any vehicles in my army, so it hasn't come up for me. But having played Mechanicum, where you get the 6+, it will not die. Every now and then, you just get that wound back, and you go, "Yeah, suck shit." So
you look across the board, and your opponent's like, "Oh, god damn it! I've got to do another hull point." Like,
yeah.
They just keep coming. Like they just can't stop them.
And it's a good psychological move as well, because it's right at it will not die is right at the end of your turn. So you just go like, okay, I'm finished. I finished the assault phase. I've just wiped out this shit. Fuck you. And then it's your turn, and you're like, oh wait, no, it's not your turn. Let me roll my it will not die. And the enemy, and they just look at you like, oh god damn it. And then just like, oh look, 6 of my vehicles got a wound back. Ha ha ha. Well, thank God Ferrus Manus reminded the tank drivers to also bring band-aids. Exactly.
Actually, just screwing things back into it. It's just
Yeah. So
I actually always forget this rule. This is like I'm so like caught up in the -1 strength that I just 90% of the time I just forget that. Oh yeah, my Rhino's got it will not die. But then when you remember it and you roll it and you roll that 6 or even a 5 or even a 4, boom, I love it.
Yeah, it's fucking so brutal. Man, it's just so the neg 1 strength against your dreadnoughts in particular is just like it's just fucking icing on the cake, man. Like it like I've been running 2x10 terminators, just basic terminators, basic bitch ass leadership 7 weapon skill 4 terminators, and they've been alright mainly because I am running Iron Hands, so they're getting that neg 1 strength. They're not taking instant. I'm not taking instant death from like fucking everything. There's some boost and shit that you can give them via what we were about to talk about, which is the Warlord trait. So, quickly, just for people listening at home, the order that we're going to do it in is the Legion Studies rule. Then we're going to do the Warlord trait. Then we're going to jump across to extra equipment, special units, and I think we've got one special unit, the Morlocks. Otherwise, everything.
Yeah, we finally get them. Yeah, we've got the Morlocks to do. So we've got
Morlocks. Yeah.
It's kind of strange because they've only got 3 unique units or special units, but because of all the war gear that they kind of have almost like 6 or 7 different types of special units that only they can take.
Sure, yeah.
even if you're an Alpha Legion and you're like, oh, I want some of your sweet Iron Hand tech, half of it you can't even have, bro. Like, have some full Mentaurus or like something else. The Iron Hands we don't share, so get back on your little snake ship and peace off.
Go sniff around the Ultramarines some more with all their OP unit. Why don't you go grab some Dawnbreakers, yo? All right, cool. Oh, did I mention I talked about Ferrus Manus earlier? I've been warmongering him into combat as well, so he's super efficient.
Oh,
don't have to run him around. Just like suddenly Ferrus Manus is here.
Oh my god! Because I just walking up the board with 20 breaches.
That's what peasants do, bro. I put because I took my Iron Father out because he's like 220 points in Terminator armor and Thunderhammer and shit. If I've got Ferrus, he doesn't need to be there. So I took him out, put a Master of Signals in, so I could re-roll that reserves. And then he's just got all the same shit that I usually just had like a Tech Marine doing in my Culverin unit. So you just swap places, man. You bring some different shit this time. And then boom, just teleport him in, re-roll to scatter if anything happens, which usually doesn't. And then he just shoots and charges. Oh, and both of those dudes that I fought as well, because he gets to choose who wounds go on, I was able to like pre-wound, like I put a wound on Alfarius, just like when he just landed, shot him with a plasma blaster and just shot a wound off him. It's like, yeah, fuck you, and then just I'm coming for you.
Have a nail in the coffin.
Yeah, just want to bloody him. Just make sure he's fucking ready. Wake him up. And then just like wade into combat with Forgebreaker and just destroy him. 15 wound. Super brutal. I'm gonna have to build some vehicles there, like to drive them around in.
Yeah.
But if you want to get super brutal, Warmongering a Primarch in. Ooh, the new meta, bro.
Yeah. Because there's some other things that we will get to when we get to some of the special units that you can do with a Warmonger is pretty crazy. So, but we will get to that when we cover those sections.
Oh, true. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's do the Warlord trait. So the first one is from Hell's Heart. And this one is basically, if you kill him, you just made the biggest mistake of your life. Basically, if you kill him in combat, he gets to make D6 auto hits on you with whatever weapon he wants, he or she. Not gonna, or if it's a shooting attack, if you have any weapon that's in range to shoot back, you just auto do D6 auto hits. So, with whatever weapon you choose, which is fucking just so crazy.
And you also get Fear 1 as well, as just like an extra bit as well, which is good.
Yeah.
Fear's awesome in this as well, but this, I think, especially if you take Fury of the Ancients and you take this on your big leader, Contemptor, and he dies in combat, he punches whatever he's fighting D6 times with a Gravis.
You just get casual 18 wounds.
But then if you shoot him dead and he's got like a Gravis las cannon, he just shoots the Gravis las cannon D6 times at you. So you could get you could roll a 6 and because it shoots the profile of the weapon, so the profile's like heavy too. So it would shoot 12 shots automatically. It would just hit. So yeah, it's an interesting Warlord trait. I've only tried it like a few times, and because you kind of want your guy to die so that you can like use it, which is kind of weird to think. But it is good. It is cool as well.
It's like a mummy from like fantasy, right? It's like
exactly.
Classic mummy
and
skirt,
this like the fluff of this Warlord trait as well plays into like when Ferrus, because like Ferrus is like one of the like science Primarchs, so he's got all the tech, he understands everything, he's really good at like connecting cables up and stuff like that, but he also just collects like weird like underhand like backwards tech from all these civilizations that he conquers, and this one plays into when he dies, the like keys of hell are like unlocked, which essentially just reanimates dead legionnaires, and this kind of plays into that as well. So like when he dies, he just comes back to life really quickly, murders you, and then just dies again for like a second time.
So fucking nuts. Yeah, Yeah, I love the shit, man. It's fucking sweet. It's I've definitely got that planned for a eventual Dread Daddy list, because like that Fear Bomb, all the Dread Daddy fucking extra shit like the 4+ Invern and all that sort of stuff, and then plus that Fear Bomb plus like the this return fire thing. Like imagine someone just they charge you with the Dreadnought or a Primarch or something and kill you. And you're like, oh, well, biggest mistake of your life. Just roll a casual 6 fucking hits with your fucking Brutal 3 fucking hammer. Brutal 3 fist. You could do like 18 wounds on like Sanguinus or something and be like, fuck you, bro. Yeah, that's crazy as fuck. So, yeah, I've definitely got like a fist and dual las cannon fucking guy planned for my Dread Daddy. So.
Just absolutely perfect.
Even on like, I have thought about this. I've been using Silver Iron Will, which we'll talk about in a second. I have thought about using this just on my basic Ironfather, just because he has a Thunderhammer and a Melter Gun. So like, if someone shoots him from close range, like Jack Ruby's him, he's just like, oh, you killed me, but also his D6 Melter Gun hits. Like, fuck you in this shit. Yeah.
Are you an Iron Hand? No, so you die. You get no fear, no pain against this, bro.
Yeah. If it's a Dreadnought, like you could use a Haywire weapon of some kind or Haywire Blaster. It's interesting. Okay, so next one is we'll do Silver Iron Will, then we'll do the dirty fucking Traitor Dog one, which no one ever takes because the Iron Hands are all
scumbag one.
So Silver Iron Will. So this one basically you cannot alter the effects. The stat line of the Warlord or his unit that he's with. So no rag grenades, no fucking blind, no
fear, movement as well. You can't slow them through like terrain and stuff. This was actually this Warlord trait was FAQ'd because apparently people were literally reading it as if you could never have any of your characteristics lowered. So wounds, people were apparently playing this as.
Yeah, I'm undead. Can't kill me. Can't go below 0, dude.
Like I can't lower a characteristic, so I can't lower my wounds of me and my unit.
Rules as written, bro. Like how many people during raw dogged into fucking in a game, just letting someone have a unit that can't die? Does anyone actually get that? Because I would be like, yeah, I'll let you play that, but I get to kick you in the balls as hard as I want.
Yeah, with both feet. Jump kick.
Yeah. Like, fuck off. This is ridiculous. Yeah. It's pretty funny, though. I've brought that up as an argument. It's a good counter argument if somebody tries to play some horseshit. You go, well, okay, if you're going to play that way, then I'm going to play that I can't lose any wounds, Judah.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, you want to walk your Death Guard out of combat? Sweet, please do that. Yeah. I'm just never going to take wounds. It's fine. So, but that is the bad way to play it. I think it was FAQ'd, so that isn't a thing anymore. But the fact that people were playing that is just like
that's nuts. I can't imagine anyone actually did play that. If you did, write in ihorspodcast@gmail.com. We'll pay for your therapy. No, we won't really. So. Yeah, Silver Iron Will, pretty good. I've been running this one pretty much exclusively. It's just a good all-round, you're not going to get suddenly have to take like a leadership 2 leadership check, roll down ones or your unit dies.
It's a really healthy Warlord trait because of one of the restrictions that come with it. So you can't take movement reactions in your army if you have this as your Warlord trait.
Yep.
So if like intercept is a big problem, taking this means you can't intercept because it's a movement reaction.
I haven't found that to be a problem. Yeah, I found that units that do land, even if you don't intercept them, they have to charge you or shoot you to do anything, and then you just go well, I've got culverins, so that was a bad fucking idea.
Oh, yes.
They just burn them alive, and then
take 50 shots.
Yeah. I don't know. Having not actually played, being able to do any of those interceptor things, it just made me go, oh well, I don't need it. It's just for weaklings. But yeah, next army I do, I'm sure I'm going to be like, oh fuck yeah, intercept, intercept the fuck out of shit. But having said that, I've been running double Warmonger for probably 20 games, and
pioneering them, I hear.
Yeah. I'm just feeding them down the throats of the enemy, and I don't win that many games. Like I went to Sydney and I lost 4 out of 5 games, but it is a fucking shock to the system when suddenly like 10 Terminators are charging a shit out of nowhere, and it's like just hilarious to do. It's fun to like, because that's how I imagine the Iron Hands just doing it, just being like, okay, we'll just wait in space, and when the enemy engages, we'll just find their weakest spot and then just dump all our Terminators there and fucking rip the heart out of the enemy, or rip their soft underbelly out. Yeah, and if you are going to charge into heavy weapon squads in a game that has fucking reactions, be in fucking cataphracti armor, and then you only die half the time. Boom! Who gives a shit? So yeah, I'll just land and I'll charge into las cannon teams and be like, okay, cool, you killed 3 guys. Now my 7 Terminators just fucking end you, while you're just holding your magic light fucking tubes like fucking uselessly, and shit like that. So yeah, it is fun. I don't like. Definitely, I would not say it's maybe in the hands of other people. It could be OP, but I fucking lose way more games than I win. So, the teleportation side of things, fucking fucking really good.
Exciting, yeah.
I can't remember how that relates to Silver Iron Will, but I don't know.
Because you can't take movement. You can't intercept if you got silver on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What I was trying to get at with all my bravado about my constant teleport raids and harassing people is, even though I lose most of the games, it's not because of Interceptor. That's for fucking sure. No, no one's packing Interceptor. I'm playing mostly against traders because I'm a loyalist, obviously. Iron Hands, Iron 10th. Look them up. So I'm mainly playing against traders, and traders don't give a fuck about Interceptor. Everyone's worried about Interceptor. Traders don't give a fuck. World Eaters haven't got like teams of dudes behind in their back line being like, okay, make sure you watch this little screen, and if anything fucking happens, we'll fucking, and like they don't do it. Word bearers don't fucking do it. They're just running forward with like possessed fucking psycho shit.
Want to murder you,
yeah. What are they called? Fucking Emperor's Children are just running at you as well. Death Guard are just. Maybe some Death Guard might have some Interceptor, but like I haven't found it. Like no, I haven't had either of my squads, and I've teleported 2 times 10-man Terminator squads every game for about, I would say, probably 20 games, maybe more. And never have I landed an Interceptor has killed more than like 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's obviously my limited meta, but I did play in Sydney. I played 4 games in Sydney of 30k, 1 game fantasy, and playing in like a couple of metas here, and thinking about the Traitor Legions. I don't think there's that much Interceptor so going on their side. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Last one is Eye of Vigilance. So the Warlord and any unit he's with gains preferred enemy loyalist. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't think I've fucking read this in years.
Yeah, this one I played Traitor to balance out numbers at one event, and I had my Warlord trait had to be this because I was playing Traitors, and I had him with 10 Culverins and a Tech Marine, and it was literally just like take 50 wounds when you shoot. Do you know what I mean? Like. I'm not even going to roll these because I'm 2 to hit with a reroll and 2 to wound with a reroll.
Yeah,
it is a really good Warlord trait. Like, if you want to be aggressive or even shooty, and as long as your Warlord's tied into that unit, it is really good. But then the problem is, it's traitor only, so it's trash. Throw it in the bin. Like.
Yeah. So it's got like a complicated fucking reactions thing, like
yeah, it's worded quite strangely, but I think pretty much your Warlord can make extra reaction. Your Warlord and the unit can make an extra reaction of their choice, movement, shooting, or assault. Only they can, not any unit. So the army has the 3 reaction allotment, and your Warlord gets an extra one of his choice. So.
This can allow the Warlord and his unit to make more than 1 reaction in the same phase.
Yeah.
How the fuck? What?
Yeah, so you could return fire, and then you could shroud as well, which is pretty cool. Or if someone charges your 10 culverins, you could Gorgon spike them and shoot them 100 times. And then you could also disorder them as well, which could be quite interesting. So.
Well, yeah, that's nice. Oh, so you could do like an Overwatch and then a Hold the Line or something like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Which is actually pretty crazy. It's only on the Warlord and his unit.
But they'd have to be separate, like you couldn't do a Overwatch and Hold the Line on the same charge. Like they would have to charge you, do an Overwatch, wipe them out, and then another unit charges you, and then you go, well, fuck you.
Correct. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. But
it's quite cool.
Some traitor shit. Like, imagine being a traitor fucking Iron Hand. Ugh. Is there anything worse?
Disgusting. Yeah.
Silver Iron Will. You could be a traitor Iron Hand with Silver Iron Will as well.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, because it's not loyalist only, is it? Yeah.
But yeah, like that.
Silver Iron Will's cool as well. I like Silver Iron Will.
Preferred enemy everything on a guy who's in a las cannon squad, for example, just sitting back, hanging around, shooting fucking las cannons into people's shit.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking crazy.
Shooting heavy weapons, lots and lots. Would be pretty cool.
A whole bunch of like combi melters in a Terminator squad that's being warmongered in. Warmonger. And then just like unload with your extra accurate melter guns into their termies.
That'll be a good way of getting use of the magna weapons, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, dude, no, you know what the fucking... You know what you do is this guy, so Traitor Warlord, Eye of Vigilance, in a unit of nullificators with disintegrators. With preferred enemy everything. Disintegrators. Boom!
It's done, isn't it?
He's going to be Terminator armor too. Terminator armor... Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to reach into this box and just start building some now as we speak, because that's so
Warmonger, fucking Warlord. Well, you could just take a Warmonger as your general, and then he could have the Eye of Vigilance and Warmonger them in from the same package, and then you can, fill 2 other slots.
Yeah.
Oh no, because it's just Warlord traits. It's not even a right. Yeah, this is before you even have a right of war. You've already got that fucking destroyer squad. Alright. Okay, so so that's all of them. Very interesting. There's something for everyone there. I feel like we got really kissed on the dick, as they say, with these Warlord traits, because all of them are just like fit in somewhere.
Yeah, and they're all super thematic as well, which is really cool. They actually play in really well to what the Legion are about and the lore behind them, which is good.
Oh, I'll tell you one thing. When you were running around the Silver Iron Will, which is what caught me, don't be so quick to be like, I'm impenetrable, you'll never stop me. Because telekinesis. Telekinesis has this thing where they just roll to hit against you, and for every hit they hit with, you have to take a pinning check.
Yeah.
But it doesn't...
Telepathy, isn't it?
It doesn't reduce your leadership like any normal fucking item would. Which then Silver Iron Will would just fuck off. Yeah, it affects the dice roll. So if they hit with like all 6 hits, you've got to take... you got to add 6 to your roll.
Yeah,
so which means you've got...
I didn't think about that, but you
are
correct.
You got to roll 1 to 4 or something. Like you got to roll under 4 on 2d6, otherwise you fail. So yeah, that's the one thing that gets around having your like fucking stubborn 10 essentially. Is that fucking telepathy power? Like you gotta look out for that shit. That's some horse shit. Yeah. Otherwise, everything else.
Easy to do.
Stubborn 10, like unmodifiable 10, because you're Warlord. You might be running a leadership 9 little boy or something in a Centurion game or something, but that leadership 10 Ironfather, stubborn 10 Ironfather,
never stops coming. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the team. What is it? T80.
The T1000.
T1000. Which one's the Arnie one? He's a T80, isn't he? I'm sure he is.
Yeah. T400, T800.
See now.
T800 sounds cool.
Yeah,
we'll go with T800.
We're overthinking it. We're gonna sound like fools. All right. So we'll jump across Rites of War because we do them last. Let's jump over to the Armory. Ooh, of the Iron Hand.
Oh baby!
And this is where all the fucking good shit happens. There's a lot of good shit in here. So, firstly, you can upgrade any Praetor to an Iron Father for 65 points. Originally, I wasn't going to do this, but then I realized, like, fucking why not? Like, it makes him, like, fucking sick. Like, it's... So, we'll break it down. So it's 65 points, so it is kind of expensive. However... it
is quite a lot.
Yeah, you gain a Cyber Familiar, which is straight up 20 points. So it's only costing 45. You're getting Battlesmith 3+, Feel No Pain 5+, for a 35-point upgrade. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And also...
Machinator Array.
Yeah, and the Machinator Array, which gives you a Melter Gun and a Flamer, I believe.
A Flamethrower. And it gives you extra combat attacks as well. You get two free combat attacks as well.
Yeah, little grabbing claw attacks are like Strength 5 Armor Bane, Flesh Bane and shit. Or Shred and Armor Bane, yeah.
AP2 as well,
yeah,
so
AP2,
they're pretty good at just killing anything. Yeah.
Yeah, so good. I always imagine, because I've got mine mounted as like sort of over the top, like just grabby claws, and I always imagine him just like grabbing like an enemy dude by the shoulder with one of his claws and then just pulling his helmet off with his other claw. And then my Iron Father just crushes his head with a thunder hammer, like a melon, like just
twists his head off like a bottle of beer or something.
Oh yeah,
like,
you just crush his head. Yeah, just pull his head off
Yeah.
and just crush his head like a melon. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. So 65 points. So it comes down to like 45 points basically for Feel No Pain, Battlesmith, and also the Machinator Array. You can't have it on a bike or a jet bike or a jump pack.
Yeah, so he's just got to be an on-the-foot dude coming at you.
Yeah.
If
Battlesmith 3+ is super flavorful.
Yeah. Like if he's in a tank as well, you can battlesmith the tank while you're inside it as well. Mm-hmm. So if someone shoots your tank and immobilizes it or blows off like a las cannon, he can just be like, fix it back together, keep going, keep shooting, bro. Like, it's good. It's cool. Yeah.
We played that like a massive like narrative game where there was a whole bunch of big tables, and on our table we had to get into this sort of fortification and turn off this massive power thing that was powering a power shield on another table. And I teleported down and we fought people for a while, and then I used my Battlesmith 3+ just to like turn off the generator instead of destroying it and killing everyone. That's just like, aha.
Perfect.
Narrative
to save the tech.
Narrative established, and then later we stole it all. Take this
just like hot wired into it. Yeah,
take this power generator up to the ship. It'll be fucking sweet. All right, next up is Blessed Auto Simulacra. So this is like 10 points on most vehicles. Yep, and it gives you It Will Not Die 6+, which then stacks on the Iron Hand's rule for 5+. And you can take that on any model with the vehicle unit type. So that means planes as well, right?
Yeah, planes, drop pods, termites, everything. Yeah. The one thing that I don't quite understand about this is this, I think, stacks. No, this doesn't stack with Ferrus Manus's Legion rule, which I don't really fully understand.
No, it does. It says in Ferrus's thing it stacks to 4+, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the Legion rule that stacks. I'm not sure if this also does as well. So.
Ooh.
It's a bit weirdly worded, but if someone wanted to play it against me that it does, be like, cool man, fine, send it. Have a 3+, It Will Not Die. But for 10 points, making it a 5+, It Will Not Die on all your tanks, on your big Kratoses, or even on your Sicarans or your Predators, it's pretty good. I like it, and it's a good way to round out the points of your army when you're sitting at like 28. 29, 80, and you're like, I need to find some points. I've bought everyone metal bombs. I know what I'll do. I'll buy some sweet Robotech to help repair everything. Yeah, yes.
It's definitely like it's only 10 points, but yeah, if you do have a vehicle-heavy army with like 10 tanks, that's like 100 points just spent on that. And a lot of the time, your vehicles are just like, oh well, here's 3 laser vindicators firing at your predator squadron. Like, they're just fucked. Like, they're not gonna get to use that ever. They're just gonna get shot. With one burst of shooting is gonna take them off the table. So that's like 30 points. Could have spent on some more melter bombs or something, you know. Or some more knives on some guys or whatever. So yeah, that's interesting. You're saying Blessed Order Simulacra. You're saying that doesn't stack. So Ferrus Manus would not give you a 4+. It will not die on vehicles. Is that what you reckon? That's how you're interpreting?
No, so it wouldn't give you a 3+.
It'd give you a 4+ though, right? Because you'll get it will not die from the Legion rule. That stacks with the Blessed Order Simulacra to 5+, and then Ferrus Manus gives you another 6+, which stacks. Doesn't it stack?
First gives everyone a 5+, and then the Legion rule would make it a 4+. But this would not then make it a 3+, I think.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But if someone wanted to play that against me, I'd be like, of course that's how it works, because it just sounds like that's how it works. But I think if you were like, technically, maybe it wouldn't, but it might be something that just needs FAQ in, or just like clarifying. So
yeah, and you've got bigger problems than regenerating tanks if you got Ferrus Manus on the table, bro.
100%. You've got the biggest problem in the world.
The biggest problem the traders have ever faced and cheated to overcome. Cheated in 2 different ways. Number 1, stole is the greatest weapon ever made, and then 2, fucking took otherworldly help. Allowed a devil to like enter him and stuff. Anyway, okay, so let's move on. So next up, any characters, infantry unit type with a character subtype, and Legion Iron Hands rule obviously, can gain a Cyber Familiar for 20 points. And a Cyber Familiar is the greatest fucking thing ever. It gives you +1 in your invulnerable save and allows you to reroll initiative checks. Yeah, characteristic checks. Yeah. So although there's not that much that you usually have to do, characteristics checks, there's not that much. It is future-proofing though. So in case they, who knows what kind of devilish shit will come out of psychics and stuff like that.
Yeah. Also as well, so blind in this edition seems to be more prevalent than it ever has. Conversion beavers have it. You can take like Castellax with arc fires in like a Legion army quite easily. So what this does do is it means if you get shot by something with blind and one of your characters has a cyber familiar, you can re-roll the check. So you're getting blinded much less than every other Legion, which is absolutely badass. Yeah. And it makes you one of the 3 Legions in the game that can get free up invols on characters or terminators and stuff. So just makes you a little bit better than the rest. And it gives you a cool opportunity to make like a cool little like robo dog that can be your cyber familiar that like follows around your Iron Father.
Yeah. You can have whatever the fuck. Like I'm trying to sort of make mine all like little Scully boys floating around and keep them all in the same model. But I've got some Necro Hounds that I can easily sort of throw down, make the army look a bit more cool. Like why have they got dogs? Who knows? What are they? What does it mean? Who knows? There's not rules. They're just markers. Don't overthink it. But yeah.
This year, like putting this on like Cataphracti Centurions or like Praetors makes them so much tougher to get rid of. Like they get the extra wounds.
It's an auto include. I'd find it to be an auto include. Like I've got them on everything from my Maratat. Anything that has an invulnerable save, it's an auto include, and it's a sergeant or a whatever that can take it, a character. So Terminator Sergeants, all my Terminator Sergeants have them. So like a Terminator Sergeant with 3 attacks base, Lightning Claws for 5, 6 on the charge, 6 Lightning Claw attacks on the charge with a 3+ invulnerable. It's just like such fucking good, just like punching, just fighting dude. You just throw him into challenges. Just a Terminator Sergeant with a fucking Thunderhammer with 3 base attacks with a Thunderhammer with a 3+ invuln because he's got a server or a familiar. Even in like Tartarus armor, if you decide you want to like be able to run and shit, a sergeant having a 4+ in a squad of Tartarus is fucking pretty good. Just
with like and with wound allocation changing, it's really good for like when someone shoots the melt guns at you or the multi-melters, you can take them on him, knowing that he won't die if he fails a save, which is huge. If you've got Feel No Pain, he will get that as well, and it just reduces the amount of damage that you're actually taking from those like AP2 or 1 shooting attacks. It's as you said, I think if a character has an invul, this is an auto take. Really good.
Yeah. Like I've had my so like a Moritak it has a 4+ invo. So I've had my Moritak get fired at by 4 Fulmentaris Terminators with their plasma Brutal 2 fucking missiles, and because of my 4+ invuln, I took 1 wound, and because the Iron Hands rule didn't instant kill, so I survived like 5 like whatever the fuck it was, 5 of those Brutal 2 shots. So that invuln save is huge. It's fucking amazing. Like what I'm drop putting in is like 2 10-man squads. The sergeants have a 3-up, a Warmonger in each of those units with the 3-up, and then my Iron Father with a 3-up is in one of those units too. So it's like 23 models, 5 of which have a 3+, and they all have the 2+, 2 or more wounds. They're all cataphracti, so they got multiple wounds. The 3 characters are all cataphracti, so that's 3 extra wounds just from being cataphracti characters. And so it's how I imagine like Iron Hands just teleporting in to stem the tide or whatever. So fucking sweet. And that just having all those invulnerable saves, those extra 3-ups.
Really good, really cool.
That's why they're the best, man.
That's why they're the apex predators. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about Gorgon Terminator armor. There's some debate about whether these guys are cool or not. I've seen like so many people debate whether they think they're cool or not. Now they're basically a 5+ invuln, 2+ armor save. They have 5+ Feel No Pain as well. So against anything that's strength 7 or less, they're getting a 5+5+. AB2, they're getting 5+5+, which is pretty good. And then if you pass an invulnerable save, I think what is it? All units within D6. Oh no, within 6 inches have to take a blind check. Yeah.
So this changed from first edition to second edition. It used to just be an invul save. Now it's both armor or invulnerable save.
Oh shit.
Which is good. Yeah. And then as you said, then you roll a 4+, and then every enemy unit, not even friendly unit, within 6 takes a blind check as well. This is every time you're shot as well. So what I think this is really good with is if you Warmonger guys with Gorgon pattern Terminator armor in, and then they get intercepted, and then on a 4+, they do a blind check to everything within 6, and then they get intercepted again, and you do another check, and potentially you could land in the middle of an army, you could blind loads and loads of stuff, and then when you charge in, doesn't matter if you're not weapon skill 5 or 6, they're weapon skill 1, so you just hit them on 2s and just crush them.
They're hitting you on 6s as well.
Yeah.
I think you only take like 1 blind check at the end of the phase, no matter how many blinds you've been hit by, but the more times you're hit, and then the more checks they're gonna have, the more units are gonna be hit.
So I think blind is every time you're hit, you take a check. So you could force multiple blind checks, I think.
No, it's the end of the phase. It's not. It's not as good as it's not like pinning anymore. It's just like if you hit.
Oh,
yeah.
At
the end of the
pinning
phase,
is you can check 4 or 5 times, but blind's only once. Got you. Okay,
100%. Yeah. But because you can be hit in multiple phases, like in your first number one, if you're intercepting, that's the movement phase. So everyone has to take a check, and then because they have to take an initiative check every time they're hit by, but they're affected by it. They don't just automatically get blinded. So you can take one in the movement phase, the shooting phase, and then that's like 2 just like pulses basically. And then if you've got somebody with fear in there as well, it could be a neg 1. And then this is after they've taken pinning checks because you've teleported as well.
course, yeah. And you've got fear from your Warlord trait for having Hell's Heart. So,
yeah. Just inviting people to shoot at you more, yeah.
Yeah, literally shoot us, guys, please. Yeah.
So they seem alright. However, they do have some limitations. So we're just talking about the Gorgon armor. The Gorgons as a unit we'll talk about soon, but the characters can take this so that they can join a unit of Gorgons essentially, and then because I think it only works if all of the units. If the whole unit, like the blind effect, only works if every model in the unit is in Gorgon armor. So so you can put it. So you can give it to characters if you want.
But it's the way it's worded is it's only enemy units take the blind check. So even though unit that is composed entirely of models with Gorgon Terminator armor are immune to this effect, they still don't take a check because they're not an enemy unit. I think this is in reference to if you're fighting Loyalist versus Traitor Iron Hands and you were trying to blind a unit with mixed armor, then they would check. Only enemy units take checks on this, which is interesting.
Oh, okay. So
you can have your Cataphracti guys in the same unit with just normal Cataphracti armor, and the unit wouldn't take a check because they're not an enemy unit, which is great.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I had that in my head that you could only. I thought I think
that's what it was. I think that's what it was in the previous edition.
Okay.
But the way it's worded now is only enemy units can ever be affected by the blind check from passing an armor save or an invul save from the Gorgon Terminator armor. So.
Oh, that's not too bad. And I mean,
yeah.
Are you gonna ever want to put your character in Gorgon armor? I guess you could if you wanted.
You get the Feel No Pain, which is nice. Get that free Feel No Pain.
But you already get that for being an Iron Father.
You do. So maybe put your Warmonger in it, and he gets Feel No Pain. But then you probably want the throw up invul more than Feel No Pain. So.
Well, I guess what you could do is have because sometimes I've only done it once. It was basically like I was gonna lose the game because a Warmonger was in my unit, and he has some stupid rule where he always wants to be charging because he's just an aggro fuckhead. So I was like, fuck, no, I've got to leave this thing, and then I realized, wait, no, I don't. He can just leave the squad and fuck off. So he just left the squad and just went off and did like a solo mission for some unknown reason, just because he's an angry fuckhead. But if he was in Gorgon armor, he would be sending out pulses of blind as well. So you could have like a Merv style thing where you have 3 characters, one of which is a Warmonger, in a unit, teleport them down, attack, destroy something, and the next turn, then they just all spread out and just send off multiple blind pulses throughout everything as they charge and get overwatched and all that sort of shit. Because if somebody overwatches you,
the pulses.
Because if you teleport down, they intercept, you pulse out a blind. In your assault phase, they overwatch you, and then you pulse out a blind.
Yeah.
And then they get blinded. They're like, oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay. Well.
And their weapons go 1, and they get crunked by Thunderhammer.
So much blind.
Yeah.
Just like multiple blind vectors of blind. Because then you got 4 blinding units just bouncing around, just blasting out blind pulses within 6 inches of them. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. And you're immune to blind. Well, you're a lot more resilient to blind, but the enemy's getting even more blinded. It's just perfect, yeah.
Yeah, because you got your Cyber Familiar and just reroll.
You're just like, it's fine. I've got a 4-up reroll or whatever it is. Yeah. It's good.
I think you only fail on a 5 or 6, and then you just reroll.
Yeah.
No. Most characters are initiative 5, so you only fail on a 6.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah. And I think blind's changed now, where it's the highest of the unit rather than the majority. So.
Yeah. All right. Well. Gorgon armor, there it is. We'll talk about that in a minute when we talk about the actual unit named after the armor. Or is the armor named after the unit? Ooh.
Bit of both, maybe, yeah.
Okay, alright, so next up is Graviton Shredders. Now, this is like a new thing that they threw into this edition, which is always which is always good. I find new stuff. I love new stuff. I just want to always embrace new stuff, especially Iron Hands new stuff. So, as far as I'm concerned, the Iron Hands have always had these weapons. And and they just decided to crack them out because they're fighting against the traitors. So basically, there's two different things. There's a Graviton Shredder, which is like a range 12 strength little fucking Christian symbol, crucifix.
Yeah, it literally is. Yeah.
AP4, Assault 2, Concussive 1, Graviton Pulse Haywire. The only thing you need to remember there is Assault 2 Haywire. Range 12, Assault 2 Haywire. The only thing anyone's gonna... Because these are fucking useless. It's like shooting someone with a strength... I guess it's like shooting someone with a shotgun, like a normal human, because they have to roll under their strength. So it's essentially a strength 4 weapon against a marine. So it's just like a basic shotty.
Exactly,
But against like fucking... Against a dreadnought, a unit with like 10 of these, 20 fucking Haywire shots, there's no... Like nothing... Not much in the game will survive that. Like a knight is dead. And, even like a Fellblade's dead. Like...
Yeah, man. Yeah,
unless they have a really good save, they're fucked. Like,
yeah, I've done 11 whole points to a glaive, with 2 squads of these. I've killed Leviathans in single volleys. I've killed Dreadnoughts in single volleys.
Holy shit! How many do you have, and how do you run them?
I like to run them 2 squads of 5 in rhinos. Generally speaking, outflank because of something that we're going to talk about when we cover that, and I found these to be really good. So I've outflanked next to 2 Kratoses and blown both Kratoses up because it's like 10 shots hitting on 3s and then glancing on 2s. You can play them defensively if you're playing like quite an aggressive list. You can just keep the rhinos back because you've still got quite a big threat range, even just in a rhino. You've got like a 26-inch threat range, so you can use them offensively or defensively, and they're just really good at killing dreads and tanks. And it's funny because the Iron Hands have like the toughest dreadnoughts in the game, I suppose you could say, but they've also got the way to kill dreadnoughts better than any other legion in the game, which is just terrifying to think. It's crazy.
And I think like Haywire was one of those ones that took a little while for people to read the rules. And then, like, I think you were responsible for telling, for me finding out about Haywire, because I think,
when we recorded for the 200 episode, you and I were talking at much length about it, I think, We
were talking about it then, but I'm sure we might have, I can't remember now. But yeah. Haywire just fucking demolishes dreadnoughts, automata, vehicles, and buildings. Basically, you just roll a d6 on a 2+. They take a wound with no armor save, and you only get your invulnerable. And then a 6, no save of any kind. So no cover save, no fucking feel no pain, no evade, no invulnerable save.
Vulnerable save, you get absolutely nothing against it.
Just nuke shit. So I've been running like 3 Graviton cannons, just repping the Graviton because like it is pretty good. Like you slow people, you can dump you can sort of break their ankles and shit every now and then. It's good for just like dropping like you're almost guaranteed to get 2 wounds on a dreadnought with the 3 templates. Sometimes you get all 3, and then you're like, like suck shit, you fucking pile of shit.
You're also slowing it down, and you're forcing it to take dangerous terrain checks. And if it charges out of it, it's at initiative 1. So it's pretty good.
Man, it's fucking so brutal. But for fucking Haywire Shredders, being able to do like 10 fucking Haywire shots, like 2+, you're dead. Like, oh man, so devastating. It's fucking so devastating. I'll tell you what is fucking devastating and possibly more devastating, which I have been running, which is the next item, which is the Graviton pistol. So
here we go.
So range 12, AP4, pistol 1, concussive 1, Graviton pulse, whatever, Haywire. So, for 10, I think it's for 5 points, you can upgrade a Graviton Shredder.
Graviton gun to a Graviton Shredder.
Alright, Graviton gun to a Graviton Shredder, and then the pistol.
It's just the cost of a plasma pistol. It's just
so it's just 10 points.
You buy a plasma pistol and then just exchange it.
And
for
it becomes a Graviton pistol. Holy shit, that's so good because you can just put them on all your characters, and then every sergeant and shit, it just has a chance of just shooting a wound off a dread, or just running up to any kind of vehicle and just shooting a wound off it. It's just like 3+ to hit, 2+. Yeah, there you go. There's another wound off. Suck shit. But I've been running the twin Graviton Gravitat.
The fabled Gravitat. Whispered.
Yeah, he's fucking so good, man. Like,
I love this guy so much.
I think we talked about it when I had you guys on. Did we talked about the Gravitat? At that point, I hadn't had my greatest Gravitat victory. Do you want to know what my greatest Gravitat victory is? So
are we just comparing war stories here of just greatest like kills with the Gravitat? Please tell me. I must know.
All right, so this is my this is my greatest one so far because usually he just gets like, you know, like what are those fucking book burning word bearers fuckheads? Not Pyroclast. They're called like
Ashen Circle.
Oh, Ashen Circle. Yeah, like Ashen Circle just jump up and like dump like 50 fucking templates on him or whatever. Or they deep strike and charge him, Salt Marines or whatever. But every now and then I get like a super victory. So I was playing against a Fury of the Ancients list, and my Graviton was hiding behind this like just piece of whatever Games Workshop fucking Sector Mechanicum thing, terrain, whatever. And then these two Leviathans were coming up. So I popped him out, chain fired into one Leviathan, shot it down to 1 wound.
Oh, that's 7 wounds straight out. Ooh.
Yeah. Are they 6 or 7?
6 wounds?
No, 7. I think are they
6
7?
wounds, yeah.
Yeah, so shot 6 wounds of it.
Yeah.
The rest of my army shot it, just the rest of, whatever shit I had nearby, shot the other Leviathan down to 1 wound as well. And then in his turn, he's like, okay, so my Leviathan on 1 wound fires at your Maritat. And I'm like, okay, so... and I'm like, okay, well, I return fire with my two Graviton pistols. And he's like, okay, so I'm like, 2+2+, it's dead. And he's like, fuck. And I'm like, you still get to fire there. And he's like, oh yeah. So he just fires double storm cannon into me. And I'm like, fuck. Managed to survive it, just pass all my saves. And then and I'm like, yeah, and you're dead. And then the other Leviathan, I'm like, oh fuck this guy. And then he's like, okay, I'm shooting this one. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So he shoots all of that into me. And somehow I just don't die. And then he goes, okay, well, I'm charging. And I'm like, well, Overwatch. Just shot its fucking wound off and just killed it as well. And I was like, yes! And survived both the explosions from both of them as well with like 2+ saves.
Oh, perfect.
So it's like super fucking like, oh my god. And then he just... like there was a Contemptor standing nearby as well, and it just shot him with las cannons and just insta killed him. But I was like, yeah, double Leviathan kill, boom.
That's hotter than what I got. So that's
really?
So that's pretty hot. Yeah.
What do you got?
I got a Leviathan with a single chain fire, which was pretty hot, and then a Spartan with another chain fire because he somehow didn't die. Yeah. And then in like the last turn of the game, he like jumped over and killed 2 Vanquishers with a chain fire. But I think 2 Leviathans is about as hot as it. That's like 600 points odd. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's like a fifth of someone's army to just one guy. Just like.
Well, they had to be. Yeah, it was definitely like the situation definitely worked out. Like where they were both on 1 wound, so I had a little bit of leeway. But even if one of them had been on 2 wounds, there's still a chance he could have still pulled it off, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that you can't charge after chain firing is like, such a fucking ball ache.
And you can't chain fire on reactions. You can only do it when you're shooting foes. Yeah, which is good though, because otherwise it would just be a bit retarded.
Yeah. If you fuck. Yeah, nothing would fucking get near you. Yeah.
You just murder everything. Yeah. You're like, oh, nice Dreadnought, bro. Nice Fear of the Ancients. My single guy's going to just nuke your whole army.
Oh, man. Imagine if you could chain fire, and then you could also use the Legion rule to fire twice as well. Just like double chain fire.
You could chain fire on Overwatch. Double chain
fire Overwatch, yeah. Like when there's nothing. Yeah, well, if you've got Graviton pistols, you're going to do. Now, although great at killing fucking Leviathans, as we said, automata, dreadnoughts, vehicles, buildings, very, very good. Everything else, like just infantry, it's basically just like having a strength 4 shot. Graviton Pulse is now roll... so it's not a strength check anymore, it's a roll under your strength. So they slightly made it better.
A strength check,
Yeah, so it used to be basically you would fail it on a 4+, making it against Marines essentially a strength 3 weapon, which was pretty trash. They made it a strength 4 one now, essentially. Like essentially the rolls that you're looking for. So
which is the other thing that's good is that you don't have to roll to wound. You just have to roll to hit, and then if you're just shooting just like basic Astartes, unlike a normal gun where you have to roll to wound, you just roll to hit, take some checks. You might take armor saves, you might not. It's good, but the cool thing about this is because on a Moritat, the chain fire stops if you've got gets hot.
Yeah.
These don't have it. So as you said, it's just auto 12 shots. It's just 12 shots. Bam. Right.
Yeah. You can do what I do, which is you fucking fire all your hits with Graviton Pulse and then go, that's 7! And then just look at the other player and they go, what? And you get 7. And they go, what are you fucking talking about? And you go, 7 fucking Graviton hits. And they just look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you're like, oh, I forgot you're a pleb that doesn't know from like a pleb fucking bullshit legion, like the word bearers that don't know anything about fucking, technology. You need to take these saves. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the way I like to do it. But yeah, so both of those weapons extremely fucking good. Now there is limited ways that you can get shredders, like a whole unit of shredders is like I think there's only one way to get it, and it involves a Rite of War in addition to this rule.
Every other time it's just on some guys in a unit.
But think about this, like a squad of 10 veterans, you can take 2 Graviton guns, and they could both be Graviton shredders. So that'd be 4 haywire shots off that squad. At range 12, extremely good. Like, that's fucking like the way that haywire works against vehicles and everything else. It's like having a better than a las cannon, right? It's like against
man.
Like the way that like against a Land Raider. Just doing a fucking a wound with no save on a 2+ is equal to what, like a strength 14 weapon or something, or strength a strength 13 weapon or something. Like it's just fucking crazy. So yeah, haywire extremely good.
Yeah.
Not great if you're playing against orcs or something, though, I guess.
Nah, but that's fine because you just grind them under your tracks and you just fucking beat them up.
Sure. And then the last piece of tech, which fucking Ferrus Manus says death unlocked from the Hell's Vaults, is this thing called the Armatus Necro Technica. So it's 50 points. You can put it on one model with the vehicle unit type, any detachment in Legion Studies Iron Hands that does not have the flyer subtype can have it. And then basically any friendly or enemy unit with at least one model within 6 inches of this model takes any wounds. For every wound they take, you need to roll a d6. On a 6, this vehicle regains a hull point. In addition, everything friend or foe within 6 inches of it have -1 leadership. And even things with stubborn cannot ignore that modifier. So it's like just...
Which is absolutely crazy. So this is... Like, the whole regaining hull points is cool. Maybe if you put it on like a super heavy, it could be cool.
Yeah.
It's more... The more -1 leadership to anything within 6, even if they're stubborn, is pretty crazy. So you could outflank a tank in one of the Rites of War, and when you do your pinning checks, when you arrive, anything within 6 also takes -1 leadership, which is pretty cool. You could get like a herald as well, so you could hop out and you could do a fear 1, so it'd be another -1. You could put this on a termite, and you could like subterranean assault and make everything within 6 -1 leadership.
Whoa, yeah.
You could put it on a drop pod and just drop the drop pod right in the middle of the enemy line. Another pinning check at -1, -2 if it's dark, -3 if there's like fear somewhere. You could get a Selexus, which is a -2 leadership. I think it's Fear 2. You could use that as well. But what you can also do, which is one of the things that I'm planning on doing, but I haven't had the cold heart yet to do it, is you could put it on a saber, and you could, turn 1, you could ram an enemy unit, because it can go flat out for 36 inches. You could ram an enemy unit when it's dark, get some fear in there from an infiltrating Selexus or something, and then put this on it as well, and you can force like a -4 fear check on someone, leadership check on them. So it's got quite a lot of utility. It's quite niche and it's quite a lot of points, but you could have some real fun with it. Yeah, you could probably go toe to toe with Night Lords on fear checks, which would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah, 50 points, but yeah, man, I can definitely imagine putting on a drill, just having like the cursed drill.
Yeah.
Scary
I think the
face
drill's
on
like
some
the coolest one, isn't it?
Yeah, because just if you had like 3 drills coming, I just always daydream about like 3 drills just coming out of the ground, doom doom doom. They just like fall over like batteries falling over, and then but like if one of them was like cursed, and then fear bombed, like Night Lords coming out of there with fear as well. Like, oh yeah, could be good. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Armatus Necro Technica. You can also put it. I don't think you can put it on a super heavy. Did it say no super heavies?
It's just got the vehicle subtype. So the super heavies have the vehicle subtype.
But, they don't count as being in the detachment, do they? Super heavies or Lords of War.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. That's how they get you. But you could put it on, there's some like high wound things like like a Cerberus or something like that. But I don't know. Yeah. I think you're right. Like the bomb, like the leadership bomb is like super strong. It's
just something that you wouldn't ever expect it as well. Like you probably tell your opponent, by the way, this does this as well, and they'll be like, whatever, cool, stupid Iron Hand. Then you just appear encircling the enemy in tanks and be like, fucking suppress, see you in hell, like, and just put even more fear and stuff on them. It's just, I think it's I'm yet to really try it out. I've only tried it like a few times, but I'm very excited to, especially when some of these other units that we talk about, and they're finished and they're ready to go. I definitely plan on using this alongside those units. So.
Yeah. I've the only thing I've summoned it into is a Kratos, with just making it a super expensive Kratos, and then and then using something we're dying to talk about, where we haven't named yet, right thing to get it onto the table from a side, and then just be super terrorizing, because you can just like, I'm down to 1 wound, just drive up to a nearby enemy unit and just fire into it with a ton of shit, and just start just like topping myself up.
Just like kill that unit, heal yourself up, end of the turn, check again, like heal yourself up some more
as well. Because like it's not always going to happen, but you are going to get a game where you're going to get some, like, you're going to get flogged, you're going to drive up to a unit, suck them down, power back up to full points, they just hit you again, you drive up, suck down another unit. Like you can definitely imagine it happening. And is it only infantry that sucks the souls out of? Will it do it to dreadnoughts and shit? Can you suck down a dreadnought?
Each model removed as a casualty. So it's actually anything. You can suck the soul out of the drivers of a rhino that you've just blown up with your like massive gun. Like,
whoa. Yeah, roll a d6 for each model.
Removed as a casualty.
Yeah, okay. So you only get to suck. You only get 1 sucker to dreadnought. Well, I guess that makes sense. If only 1 soul in a dreadnought, but but you could definitely like suck down some termies, depending on what weapons on your Kratos as well. If you've got some culverins and las cannons and shit.
This would be really cool, because you could suck out the souls of the soulless Sisters of Silence.
Yeah.
You're like, nice soul, bro. Yeah, give me that soul. Give me that. Like,
yeah. Wait, what does it say? Let's see what it says. This technology is capable of harnessing the stolen energy of sentient life to power engines of mechanical destruction. Ooh, that doesn't say soul energy. It says energy of stolen energy of sentient life. That doesn't explicitly say soul. This could be some other kind of energy. Maybe a soul runs on sentient energy.
Yeah. Or like a dog, maybe. You could like suck the soul out of like a pack of rabid hounds. Like, yeah, that'd be quite cool. Yeah. Or some chuds. Like,
yeah. Just suck down a whole fucking chud family and just repower back up. Imagine if you had that in Necromunda on just like some huge truck. You just drive like, oh, we're getting smashed. Just drive through that nearby like chud, chud town and just crush them all into your tracks and just suck up their souls. All right, okay. So cool. Let's talk about special units. So number 1 is Gorgon Termies. We talked about Gorgon Termi armor. Now, here's the underwhelming stat line for Gorgon Termies. It's they have like a veteran stat line, except they're only weapon skill 4. They're only movement 6 as well. So although they're less armored, they're also the same movement as Cataphracti, which kind of sucks. They do have stubborn though. They do have feel no pain, which is given to them by the armor. And they come with I think the hammer bearer comes with a thunder hammer, and otherwise you can't take any other thunder hammers in the unit, which is enough.
Which is a bit.
If you're at the
it's a bit bullshit.
Yeah, if you're at the very tip, well, that's the thing. It is bullshit. However, when you think about it, they're only weapon skill 4, so they basically can't participate in higher level combat. So that's my problem.
Unless
that's my problem
they
with them.
blind the enemy. So.
And yeah, exactly. You're relying on well, I mean, we just spent like 20 minutes talking about mass blinding techniques. So yeah, that is definitely a valid strat. I almost forgot about all of that fucking blind talk. So yeah, unless you're relying on the fucking mass blind.
I think these guys are really good as like. Why would you ever take normal Terminators when you can take these guys? If that kind of makes sense. They're just better like normal Terminators. They're not going to go toe to toe with any of the elite Terminators like Deliverers or Huskarls or something like that.
Yeah. So one point that they do have is they can take Graviton guns, and one in 3 can take one of these like a special weapon. There's an autocannon, plasma blaster, Graviton gun, or heavy flamer. Having like 9 of these guys with 3 Graviton guns,
which you could then make Graviton shredders as well, which would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's 6 haywire shots. Yeah. Ripping those into.
One of the other nice pieces of war gear about these guys specifically is that you can exchange their combi bolters for lightning claws, so you could have power fist and a lightning claw, which is I don't think any other Terminator unit in the game can have that. So I've got 10 guys that have got power fists and lightning claws. That I think a 10-man squad becomes quite like it becomes really expensive. But if you had a 10-man squad of these guys with 4 or 5 guys with power fists and lightning claws, some guys with Graviton-esque weapons, and then your hammer bearer as well. It's actually quite a dangerous unit. Like having like 3 attacks base, and then having it being a power fist or a lightning claw is pretty cool.
Yeah. That's the ultimate loadout, right? Like a lightning claw and a power fist, so you can just either just your 3 attacks base with a lightning claw for power armored fools, or if you're playing against Legion Termies, then you just pound away with the power fist with 3 attacks base, which is 4 on the charge. Oh, that's a good combo.
Pretty cool. And then being Iron Hands, they get Feel No Pain just inbuilt, which is cool. You haven't got to take like a Primus or like an Apothecary or anything. They just have it. And then they also gain Stubborn because they're an elite Terminator as well. So you're never reducing that leadership to below 8 unless you've got some sweet Soul Eater tech. That's the only way.
Soul Eater tech or some other contrivance yet to be announced. But well, you almost sold me there with the Lightning Claw Power Fist combo. That is pretty good. And then 9 being the special number is kind of cool as well, rather than 10, because it's just like the 1 and 3. Oh man, I wish every fucking time I deploy my Terminators, I'm like, here's my 2 shitty plasma blasters. You get a little pitter patter of wounds, but man, like I wish there was a squad where, like a support Terminator squad, where they could all take plasma blasters. That's where it would get fucking. That would be super. Or all heavy flamers. I guess that's kind of what like. It's kind of what like nullificators are, I guess. But
yeah.
So
I think these guys as well, though, Tim, like if you gave these a Warmonger and you strike them into the enemy lines and you just try and force blind checks, so just try and get intercepted, which would be really cool. Just make the blind even like play even more, and then you could also take some vets, the Arminus Techno nick a thing on a termite or like a drop pod and drop that in as well.
Yeah.
You could stack quite a lot of rules to help the unit be more efficient, but I still think it doesn't make them anywhere near as good as some of the Weapon School 5 Terminator units out there, which is minorly upsetting. They are cool. They are cool.
Yeah, if you is there a way that you can take them as troops?
Yeah, so in Pride of the Legion, they become troops. So you could take two
units could be square.
You could just sub them out for your vets or
Legion,
Terminator troops.
Termies, yeah. Yeah, see, I'd have to rebuild my army. I'm not like a... maybe I will make some eventually. I don't know. I need
I'm going to...
I want a unit that can sort of move around with Ferrus. Like, he's moving 8, but he does have the heavy rule, so he can't run. But I don't think there's any... I think Tartarus are only movement 7, and they're kind of like sort of clunky. I don't know.
Yeah, I just run him with breaches. I think breaches are the best thing for him to go with, personally. But
just shitty squad of breaches.
Yeah, because like I always feel like if you put too many eggs in one basket, like if you put Horus and 10 Justarian, it's going to kill absolutely anything. You never need to kill anything that big. So Ferrus in breaches is a really good way of like owning him down, but also making him more survivable. So he can just kill more. People will be like, oh, it's only 20 breaches, and they charge in, and then they'll be like, oh, hang on a sec, Ferrus is going to kill my entire squad, and he does.
Yeah, first rounding kills every character and every support thing in the unit, and then
yeah.
Man, I cannot wait because I've been playing against Michael's fucking little character boss of Palatine Blade guys. And just like every time I charge in, it's just the biggest fuck around. Like, oh yeah, so number 1, you lose this and that. Number 1, then I get to go first because I counter charge you. Then fucking and then Sonic because of Sonic Shriekers, and then blah 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 blah, all this other shit. Martial prowess and best shining boys and all, awards and all this other shit. After all of that shit, basically you just go, fuck, what? How many guys did I kill? And they're like, oh, like 2. I cannot wait to charge Ferrus Manus in and just go, okay, number 1, where's your fucking chaplain? Okay, he's taking 2 fucking hits. Number 2, where's your fucking librarian guy, like weaselly hiding out in there? He's taking another 2 hits. And then where's your fucking Praetor? He's taking fucking 3 hits. And then just fucking demolish them like all in like one round. I can't wait to crush those guys because they always confound me with all of that fucking bullshit. Because he's got like a Legion champ and some other God. I always end up just like doing all my shit and being like, fuck, I can't believe I killed like nothing. What the hell? These guys are just out sword fighting us. It's bullshit.
Not anymore. It's time.
Yeah. So he's like feverishly painting up Fulgrim to try and save his ass.
It won't save him. Nothing can against the Gorgon.
Yeah. No. Okay, so what's the next unit? It's the
Medusan Immortals.
Oh yeah, sick. I was just bringing up Death of Canopus to find the Morlocks. Spoiler alert, Morlocks we're going to talk about in a second. Okay, so... what's that, sorry?
Should we do the Morlocks first, or should we save the real flavour till the end?
Save the Morlocks. Sorry, I got distracted. I was trying to bring up the Morlock. I just realised I didn't even know if I had the PDF downloaded on my iPad.
I'm gonna have to find it now.
All right, well, you do that. I'll talk about the Medusan Immortals. So, a Breacher squad, normal Breacher squad stats, except they've got fucking 2 attacks and their leadership 10, and that's leadership 10-10. Basic guys and sergeant are all 10. Otherwise, just...
And they're stubborn as well.
Oh, yeah, stubborn. They've got the Bitter Duty rule. Interesting. Feel No Pain 5+. So remember that because they're breaches, they've got a sort of boarding shield, which is a 5+ invan. Feel No Pain 5+. So they've got 5+5+. 5+5+ against like a lot of shit like plasma weapons, for example, just rob them of so much momentum. And they're heavy as well, so blasts, like, if someone throws a Graviton, even a conversion beamer or something, if they're under 42, you're getting a 3+ rerollable against it. A lot of plasma shit, if they don't hit their fucking breaching threshold, then you're getting a 2+ save against it. Oh, sorry, the 3+3+ against it. In this case, you get a 3+3+5+ against it.
5+,
yeah.
You get all the saves.
So there's tons of shit. You just got to make sure you're very careful to read what the heavy rule means, which is reroll saves against blasts and templates. And then combine that with their Feel No Pain and stuff, because mass weight of fire is extremely good in these games, and the thing that kills weight of fire is double saves. So when someone's getting 3+5+, which in this case they call damage mitigation, trying to get those damage mitigations and trying to keep damage mitigation. One of the reasons that something like Battle Hardened is so good is because not only is it stops you being instant death, but also you're getting rid of the instant death rule, which means you're still getting a Feel No Pain. So
which in this legion is huge because of the prevalence of strength 8 weaponry, which only becomes strength 7. So you get Feel No Pain more, which is great.
So everyone's pet fucking Scorpiuses, they're all like, ooh, the Scorpius will save us, like a large blast, rending 4+. Think again. Doesn't even instant kill, and we're getting Feel No Pain on Iron Hands. Lol. Bring your shitty template. I got either a 4+ invan and don't die, or a 2+ rerollable, which is a 97% chance. I've been assured by mathematicians there's a 97% chance of passing that check. Although, having said that,
and Feel No Pain as well.
Yeah. Oh, and then the Feel No Pain. Yeah. But having said that, I have failed 1 2+ rerollable so far. At an event I played like about 15 or 20 games over Christmas, and there was one, and throughout all of those games my Terminators are getting killed, right? So they're getting killed in various ways, so they're always taking lots of saves, and I managed to fail a 2+ rerollable, but only once. So it is possible. That's the 97. It's only 97% chance. But anyway, Medusan Immortals. 205 points for 10, and then there are 18 points for 10 additional Immortals.
Yeah, they are quite expensive, but they are pretty tough, which is good.
Yeah, it's about 400 points. You're looking at 450 or so for a full 20-man with pimped out with special weapons and shit like that. They are pretty good. They are an elite's choice as well. You can think of them almost like Terminators in some ways because they have a 5+ invulnerable and they just don't have a 2+ armor save. They've only got a 3+.
Yeah.
But for a lot of weapons, they're getting a 5+5+ against. They are comparable to sort of almost at Terminator level, not quite. And then they're only weapon skill 4, so against elite Terminators, they're going to start having to take lots and lots of saves, and they're not going to be as efficient. And they're not like particularly tooled up. It's not like they all have power fists or any shit, right? Most of them just have like a bolter or a chain bay.
Yeah, so there's some weird things in this. So you can buy them bayonets and chain bayonets for the bolt guns. Because they've got boarding shields, they can't use them because the weapon's two-handed, which makes no sense. So I think that's just an oversight, and again, if someone was to use them against me and they had chain bays, I'd be like, use it, of course. That makes complete sense.
I think mournable events errated it to, of course, just use it. Otherwise,
that's just how people play it then, because that's what you should, yeah. But you can exchange the bolt guns for Volkites for chargers, which is what I like to do.
Yep.
So this turns them into a really defensive unit. So if you try and shoot them and you're up close, they shoot back. If you charge them, they shoot a lot. And because they're stubborn 10, they're really hard to just get rid of. They don't pretty much ever run away.
Only 2 points in the upgrade as well.
Yeah, and I actually think I've got 20 built. I haven't painted them yet, but I think chainswords are not a bad option for these guys as well. Because they've got 2 attacks base rather than normal breaches, there's quite a lot of attacks that are rerolling to wound now. And it doesn't make the unit any more expensive than it already is. So I think chainswords could be quite good. I think one of the Rites of War makes the chainswords really good, personally.
Yeah.
And then like a plethora of special weapons, so Graviton guns, melter guns, flamers, las cutters, Graviton shredders because you're an iron hand.
Have you had las cutters used against you in the English?
I haven't
British
used them personally, but I've heard good things about them.
Have you?
Because you can out.
I haven't seen them. I've never seen anyone using them.
Yeah, because you can out shoot them. I think they used to just be like a combat weapon, but now
it's like an 8-inch strength 10 AP1 shot. Like it's fucking it's totally insane. But I haven't seen anyone using them at all, so I just don't.
Yeah,
it's weird.
So Pete from the Lost Legions, he was running them with his breachers in his Iron Warriors, and he said they were surprisingly good because they shoot a strength 10 shot. Like if you Overwatch, you get like the free shot. If you return fire, they get the like free shot. And then he was using it with the Warlord trait that gives them the extra shot.
Oh, no, Iron Warriors. Oh, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
but then if you're an Iron Hand and you charge them, they can shoot twice. So you shoot twice as many Lascar rounds.
True.
I haven't tried them. I need to make some to try them in game because they're pretty cool.
Do you think it's weird that Terminators can't take a las cutter? Oh, I guess like they just punch through it with chain fists and shit.
Yeah. As you said, strength 10 AP1 armor bane, which is pretty loco. Right.
We're doing 2s against dreads, rerolling.
Yeah.
AP1.
Killing Galvor back straight out the bat.
Instant killing GBs. Cool. Yeah, fuck. Imagine firing that twice through some contrivance. Imagine getting precision shot on there by using a psyker to just like teleport down with a Warmonger, and then you use a psyker to give those strength 10 AP1s precision shot, and then just precision las cut their fucking general to death. Because even if he's tough, even if he's some tough 5 fucking bullshit one with like battle hardened somehow, strength 10 AP1 motherfucker.
Doesn't matter, just fucking die.
Doesn't matter, you're just dead. Yeah, precision sub 5+. Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, unfortunately, you can only get 1 in. Like you'd have to take 20 Immortals to take 4.
Yep. Just not enough. You want a whole squad of them, but dreams, eh? We can dream for them.
Yeah. Like a support squad that can take like all las cutters. That'd be sick. Or like a breacher support. Yeah, because so Mournival used to have a breacher support squad, which I'm pretty sure might have had an all las cutter. Ooh, I hope to see the return of that, because that'd be fucking really good now. In combat, they're still shitty. Like they get 1 attack at initiative 1 at weapon skill 1, so they just suck total dick in there. But yeah, that shooting attack, like being up to Overwatch and stuff like that. Could make them pretty good.
Cool, yeah. And the Sergeant can take a Thunderhammer in these guys, whereas normal breachers, they can't. They can take Power Fists. So.
Yeah. Alright, okay, so, yeah, interesting unit. There's a Rite of War, which we'll talk about very soon, which allows you to take these as troops. I don't think it allows you to take them as scoring troops, but it does give them hatred. So you get hatred traitor on it, which is pretty cool.
We'll see what it does momentarily.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's talk about my new favorite fucking thing in the world. Even though I haven't built them or played them or anything, but I just love them.
These are mine as well. So
the Enhanced Morlock Terminator Squad. So 150 points for 3 guys. So 50 points each for the base ones. 35 points each for 2 additional boys. But they are weapon skill 5, leadership 8-9, veteran termies. They have the stubborn, They have the cataphracti armor, blah blah blah. So they are like fucking full on like proper proper veteran termi.
These are proper combat terminators, which is what we always wanted. So
and they also have the benefit of being a HQ. So, well, in some ways, you can still bring them into an army without a Praetor, right? Because you can put them on a Praevian.
They could just be an HQ slot. Yeah.
So it's not taking another one of your elite slots or anything like that, because obviously, like they were never going to make Morlocks troops. So I like it because my Pride of the Legion list is literally I've got every slot except troops like fully filled out, like 4 elites, all that sort of shit. So I'll have to do some sort of like reformation of my list to fit them in, but I'll like I'm gonna have to take some just points out. But if I had points free, I would still be able to slot them in because I'd be able to put them as my general's retinue, essentially, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So now, one of the best things about these guys is Graviton guns. Every single one of the guys can take a Graviton gun. They can all take a Volkite Charger or a Graviton gun. Which
means they can take Graviton Shredders.
Yeah, right. Graviton Shredders. Oh. So
it's like, So
there's 5
they're really
guys
good at killing dreads and tanks.
Yeah, 5 guys with 10 haywire shots. Now they're battle hardened 1. That's like one of their fucking mega rules.
So this is what really jacks them up to be really good. So if you want to try and shoot these guys off the board, all your guns are -1 strength. So your Volkites are only winning on 3s, so on and so forth. But if you want to just try and kill them with las cannons, you can't because they're battle hardened. So you need strength 11 to
the one thing that the one thing that gives 0 fucks against all my cataphracti is las cannons, and las cannons are just so good. Because they go down to 8, but 8 still instant kills most of my shit. Whereas this, just 5 of these are going to do the work of like 10 normal just termies. I'm just going to take 5 of these with a Warmonger and my Ironfather, and they'll just plunge down and then just go, oh, hey, nice Predator Squadron. Here's 5 small haywire blasts. Just fucking annihilate them. I'm going to run just like the classic Graviton gun. Like, Graviton Shred is probably better, and I know in my brain that it is definitely better. But I like the idea of just dropping the templates. And all the rest of my shit has actual Graviton. Oh, I might put 1 Shredder. Oh, I don't know.
No, because you're running Silver Iron Will, I think Graviton guns work better. Because you're not slowed by it.
True.
If you have to run into it.
Yeah, that's true. So Battle Hardened 1.
Choking.
Battle Hardened 1, and they can't reduce it via Rad because of Silver Iron Will. So they're just like, what the fuck? And then the Power Fist, I'm just like, oh well, fucking getting a 4+. Oh yeah. It just sucks. Are any of them the character? Oh, so the Augmenter is a character, so he'll be a 3+.
Cyber Familiar.
3 attacks base, weapon skill 5, 2 wounds, 3+ invulnerable. That Augmenter motherfucker's just gonna kick shit. What can he take? He can take a Volkite Culveron, mysteriously.
It's pretty cool. Strange but cool. Yeah. Have some Voxes in there for like all the blasts that are like supporting them as they advance. Get augury scanners for when the enemy drops something near, they then shoot their Graviton guns at them. Then the most important thing that this unit can buy. So usually when you take a retinue squad, you get the option to exchange a weapon. I think it's a close combat weapon for a Legion Standard. These guys can just buy a Legion Standard. So you can just make them scoring for 20 points. And Leadership 10. It's just beautiful. Yeah,
one more
absolutely beautiful.
So he exchanges his combi bolter, so he wouldn't be able to take a Graviton gun, that guy.
Nah, but he could still have his Power Fist, Chain Fist, or Lightning Claw. But they'd be scoring, so you could have... I love it.
That's so tough. Yeah, that's what I imagine. That's why I've been teleporting my guy with a big 10-man squad, is because I imagine he's actually doing the mission, and they're just there to back him up, basically. But, like... if I can make his little like just kill team scoring via that magic banner, then that's cool by me, because like he's the guy who I imagine like in all the books and shit, it's like yes, and then they started shooting, and then we started shooting back, and then the dude is like, and then what I did is I teleported into their base and shot all their fucking staff, and then like kept like just moving through their line, fucking crushing things with fucking thunderhammers and shit.
Murdering.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. Like rather than the the mundane sort of shooting back and forth stuff. Like I always imagine the characters doing stuff rather than the gun pigs holding a position or whatever. But
Oh, for sure, yeah. Undoubtedly, yeah.
I reckon all characters should be scoring. How about that? That'd be cool.
That'd be contentious.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So Iron Hands Morlocks, very very good. Now they've got two special rules. One is the fucking rule around them being like different kinds of like retinue shit. Yeah. And then the other one is Fate of the Gorgon. So if they have Ferrus Manus, then they gain Chosen Warrior special rule.
Which is cool. It means they can always shoot and accept challenges.
Yep. And if they're part of a detachment in an army that does not include Ferrus Manus, then a Morlock Terminator squad gains Preferred Enemy Emperor's Children special rule.
Yes.
So that's pretty good. That's nice.
I'd have liked it to be Hatred, but Preferred Enemies equally as cool. So, yeah.
Yeah. It means you can rain death on them. Could be almost worth just... they can't take all plasma blasters, can they?
No, unfortunately not.
No, charges are Graviton.
Just like Graviton and Volkite. Just the two weapons of the Iron Hands that they love more than anything. So Quite Def or Grav Def. Perfect.
Yeah, when they charge into a unit, the amount of like Thunderhammer attacks and them all being weapon skill 5 and my Traitor and my Warmonger and shit being in there will just slaughter most units. But all this haywire means they can actually go after like a super heavy, smash it with a bunch of haywire, and then just like follow it up and charge into it with a whole bunch of chain fists and things like that, and actually finish it off. Or go after a knight, or even just like a predator squadron. Just dump all those small blasts. You'll be able to get multiple hits off each one, and like kill a bunch of them, and then just like charge into the remnants or whatever. Yeah. Oh man, I'm so looking forward to using these guys.
Yeah, I think these guys are great. I was saying, so when they started doing exemplary battles back in first edition, actually 1.5 edition, whatever it was, I was saying to everybody, I was like, Iron Hand's gonna get Morlocks. Trust me. Like you will all rue the day that you said we didn't have a good combat unit, and then it was the last exemplary battle, and lo and behold, we finally get the Morlocks.
Yeah, with the total sensibly fucking idea of Blood Angels and Iron Hands fighting each other.
Perfect. Yeah.
Worked out perfectly. Yeah. So. Which is kind of weird because like they were like Blood Angels and Iron Hands were two of the last legions for us to cover as well. I think along with World Eaters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
All right, so that's all the special units. We'll finish with the special reactions and the rites. So the special reaction is really good. Basically, somebody says, I'm charging you," and then you say, "Well, I'm overwatching, but all of my guys fire twice, and I gain gets hot on all of their shooting." And then they go, "Can I not charge you then?" And then you go, "Okay, if you want." And then they don't charge you. And then you go, "Okay, cool." And then in my shooting phase, I'm going to shoot you. So, because like my so many times people will like try and charge my culverins, and I go, "Oh, don't forget, I've got this thing." And they're just like, "Oh, no way, Jose! I'm not taking fucking 80 shots or whatever, like to the face." Like you can force up to, if someone charged a full fresh unit, I only run 8, but you can run 10. That's 50 shots. If someone charged a full fresh unit, you could get 100 shots with Gets Hot. It's like 10 guys firing 10 shots each. You've done it?
I've done it twice.
What the fuck happened? Just nothing? Just ash?
Once against a Urgall, where I just killed it.
Oh shit!
Oh no! And once against a Legion champion of the Thousand Suns that was like, "I'm gonna fucking come for you!" And I killed 6 of my guys on Gets Hot, but he was just dust by the end of it. 100 shots is ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Do you get a dice rolling app out, or did you roll it?
So I just do 10 at a time for like each guy.
That's true. Yeah, you gotta roll 10 at a time.
Yeah, because of
it actually doesn't take that long. Hey, like rolling.
It's all right. Yeah, as long as your opponent can like count up the hits, then it's absolutely fine.
Yeah. As long as you know what you're doing, like boom, just like bop bop bop, put them in little piles. Yeah. But yeah, fuck, it's so good, man. This Rite of War. I usually sort of just waste it on my Terminator squads. Like when someone's charging with a Dreadnought, I'll just be like, I'm gonna do my thing, so I get 8 Plasma Blaster shots. And like sometimes, every now and then, you'll just do like 3 or 4 wounds to a Dread and just fuck it up.
Yeah.
Charges. That's what I usually use it for mostly. But yeah, when somebody does thread in your special weapons squad, for example, someone's charging your 10-man melter gun squad or multi-melters, like, oh fuck, imagine they charge your 10-man multi-melter squad. Like, are you sure you want to do that? You're taking 20 yeah.
I've used it with a Pyromancy Librarian before and thrown 6 fireballs. That was pretty cool.
Whoa.
Yeah. And like, if someone charged a Telepathy Librarian, you could like Overwatch with. You could use that because it's a shooting power. I think you could Overwatch with that.
Yep.
And you could Gorgon Spite and do it twice, just in case you didn't pin them the first time, which would be pretty funny. But yeah, it's what I like about it is that it's just a really simple advanced reaction. It's not one of these like out of sequence Space Wolves, Emperor's Children one where you have to. It's quite like a finessey advanced reaction. This one's just nice and simple. It's just I shoot you twice when you charge me.
Yeah, it's not one of those obnoxious like, oh, you moved near me, now I get to charge you, such shit. Or the Emperor's Children one, like, oh, you charged me? What did you roll? A 3 or 4? Nah, I can roll higher than that. Psh, now I charged you, fuckhead. Like,
yeah.
There's like
this one's just
really annoying.
If you want to charge me, I'm going to shoot you a shit ton more. Like, please, it's fine. Yeah. Charge me. Yeah. Please, charge me. Like, I need to shoot you some more.
Yeah, every now and then, you'll just get on your favorite unit, you'll get to do it, and you just go like, oh, I'm just relishing doing this. Gonna just devastate you with like all these beams and shit. Yeah. Oh man, so good. But yeah, a lot of the time, it'll just be like, you might forget about it until the last couple of turns, and then you go, oh, I just fucking remembered. You're fucked now. I think it's really good. It's great reaction. And it's not one of those fucking obnoxious like, fuck you, I charged you, I can't charge you, or like, oh no, you just can't do anything at all, or like fucking smoke and mirrors. Like, that's some bullshit.
That's the most obnoxious of them all. Yeah. That's my favourite advanced reaction in the game, but also my most hated. I'm always like, fucking smoke bomb again. It's they're the worst. This one's just nice and simple. It's just the application of even more firepower, which is just perfect. Yeah.
They're like, we shot at them and they're still coming. What do we do? And like, shoot them again. Oh yeah, fuck.
Of course. It's the only way to deal with it.
It's getting hot. Oh, who gives a fuck? Just keep shooting. Yeah. So, great Rite of War. So you can see how that's gonna work. Like the more heavily like. When you can really get it to work with like a max unit rapid firing or doing like think about for example Fury of the Legion. If you don't move, you get +1 shot. So if someone's within 12, you're getting 3 shots. If you then manage to get all of your guys, if someone tries to charge you and they're within 12 inches of your full 20-man squad and you're Fury of the Legioning, and then they try and charge you, and then you do the Iron Hand special thing, which I forget the name of. What's it called?
Gorgon Spite.
Yeah, Gorgon Spite. You dumped a Gorgon Spite. That's 20 guys firing 6 shots each. So it's that 120 bolt gun shots. You just rip into someone's face. And just be like, try and charge through this shit. Is it?
No, no.
Isn't it 3 shots each? Times 2?
It also says here as well, it doesn't stack with rules that increase the number of attacks a model can make, such as Fury of the Legion.
Oh, it doesn't stack with Fury. Okay, alright.
So
you could still get
20 guys would only shoot 90 times. So,
but you could get 20 guys to fire 80 shots.
Yeah. Oh, plus the basic. Oh, you wouldn't get the extra shots for Fury, but you get the original shots. So you get 90 shots if which is still absolutely insane. Or if you had it on like a squad of like 20 breachers or 20 immortals, all with Volkite charges, they'd shoot 80 times.
Yeah.
Which would be
heavy bolters, fucking
heavy bolters, yeah.
Volkite calivers, they're 3 shots each. 6 shots each, like blah, blah, blah. So yeah, tons of fucking good shit there. Even just like imagine like a sniper squad. Or a las cannon, a dreadnought tries to charge your las cannon squad, and you just fire 20 las cannons into it. Like, goodbye.
My personal favourite on this advanced reaction is putting it on a double Melter Lance Leviathan.
Yeah.
Because one of the good ways of killing like shooting Leviathans is get them in combat. You just wait. You're just like, come on, please charge. And as soon as they charge, you're like, 16 motor gun shots. Blah! Like, just fucking vaporize whatever charges.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Shoot the prospects twice as well. Oh, so good. Yeah. Very fun.
Yeah. Ugh. All right. Well, let's finish off with the 2 Rites of War. So number 1 is Company of Bitter Iron. This one allows you to take Immortals as troops. They gain the Line unit subtype.
Yeah.
All models gain with Iron Hands gain Bitter Duty.
Yeah, but they also gain Heart of the Legion. So, or Immortals become scoring and get a 4-up Feel No Pain when they're on an objective, which is...
Oh, right, yeah, sorry. All models with Bitter Duty and Iron Hands gain Hatred Traitors. Sorry, is what I was trying to say. Sorry. I couldn't fucking... I just lost the ability to read somehow. But yeah, some of these rules like just break my mind for a moment. So anything that has bitter... what was it? Bitter Duty and Iron Hands rule gains Hatred Traitors. So all of your...
destroyers?
Destroyers, Immortals, Moritats, etc.
Moritats as well, yeah.
It's pretty cool, getting Hatred on a Moritat. But remember, you can't chain fire and assault, so bear that in mind.
My Thunderhammer for when he needs to actually crush something in combat with his rad grenades,
Reroll to hit, casual reroll to hit. All... so it can only be used by loyalists, and you can't include Ferrus Manus. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It used to just give like everyone got hatred, and you could
give the whole army,
and you could take Immortals, but they didn't have to be the compulsory troops.
Correct.
Oh, I guess you can still do that. They still may take Medusan. Yeah, they still may. But the big draw of that Company of Bitter Iron was you could just give them Hatred Traitors, like just the whole army, which was fucking super crazy.
Absolutely crazy, yeah. So, but what's also cool is independent characters. You can also just give Bitter Duty. So, or Iron Father, you can give him Bitter Duty, so he then gets Hatred, which is pretty cool. But he can only join Immortals or Destroyers. So you could have like two or three big blocks of Immortals. Get on an objective. They got like a 4-up Feel No Pain for being Heart of the Legion as well. They're scoring. They're stubborn 10.
Yeah.
This is when I think giving them chainsaws is possibly really good. Is they're rerolling to hit and rerolling to wound with 2 attacks base. So they suddenly put out a lot of attacks with just a lot of rerolls. And you've got a couple of characters in there as well, probably with Power Fists or Thunderhammers that have got Hatred as well. It just makes them really... A few times I've run this, whenever I play like a Carnage game, so like a 1v1v1v1, like a 4-player, it just always ends up with a block of these guys with an Iron Father sitting on the objective at the end of the game. Like most of them are dead, but they're just so hard to kill. In this Rite of War, they're really, really hard to get rid of. And become troops, so they don't eat up your valuable elite slots, which I think I personally always fill up my elite slots first. This is good.
Yeah.
It's good as this is I think I don't I prefer the other Rite of War that we're going to cover in a sec, but I think this as well. I think this is a good, fun, thematic Rite of War. Good.
Yeah. Pretty much goes without saying. Like, I think like if you're it has to be loyalist. So I thought, I guess it is fucking anti-loyalist psychopaths, but I guess there's other generic rights you can go with. If you are the traitors, but there's bit Orion. It is different from the last edition. I think it's more toned down, but if you want to take that specific army, which is just like full-on hope, fucking dudes who don't give a fuck, it's perfect.
Tons of immortals, perfect, absolutely delicious. Get on an objective and never leave that objective until you die.
Yeah,
it will take a lot because they're just so tough.
All right, let's talk about greatest Rite of War of all time. It's called Head of the Gorgon. It's taken a couple of little baby nerfs since the last edition, but let's go through it. So, all models in your deployment zone gain stubborn. So pretty good.
So this is so good. Yeah,
I've been playing Pride of the Legion, and I've got all my shit just sitting in my deployment for most of the game, except for the termies that teleport in. So I could just be getting stubborn for all those guys.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Yeah, because it's all like heavy weapons and shit just sitting there. Like, I could be getting stubborn and all that shit. Holy fuck. So any model with the infantry type with flamers can exchange them to Graviton guns or Graviton shredders for 15 points per model. So it's anything with flamer. So there are lots of things that do have flamers. There's flamers spread through. Like, I believe destroyers can take flamers, right?
They can take oxyferum flamers. So that
doesn't count. Ooh.
But they can take Graviton guns. So they can just buy the Graviton gun and exchange it for a Graviton shredder for 5 points extra.
Oh, well, there you go. How convenient.
Yeah. What's good about this one is it makes you can have support squads with Graviton shredders, which is amazing, or Graviton guns, which is pretty tasty.
Yeah. We should say like Tech Marines as well. You can add a Tech Marine. A Tech Marine can take a Graviton gun, which you can.
Can't they? Yeah.
Which you can then change to a Graviton shredder. So, and you can join them to almost any squad except for Terminators. So if you do want to have some of that haywire punch, it's a more subtle punch. It's not like just your fucking crude fucking melter gun that's gonna kill everything. It's like it's gonna do 2 wounds to a dreadnought pretty efficiently. So okay. So what else? So here we go. Castellax Battle Automata Maniple units * may be selected as elites choices in a detachment using this Rite of War. All models in such units gain It Will Not Die 5+ rule at no additional points cost. They do not gain Legion Astartes Iron Hands rules for any of its benefits. So, why would you take this instead of taking a Praevian? I guess because the only reason is because you didn't want to take up a HQ slot, maybe, right?
Yeah, so when you take a Praevian with Castellax or Vorax, they gain the Legion Astartes Iron Hand rule. So the whole toughness 6 thing kind of goes away.
Yeah.
You're then essentially toughness 7, which is great. I can't work this out personally. It's cool if you want to really theme your army and take loads of like Mechanicum robots that are like in sworn to the Iron Hands.
But not getting. So what are the fucking Praevian ones then? You know, like, so what are they like? Exactly. Like, how come his better? Like, I don't know. There's the same problem with the Rite of War, whatever the fuck it is, Brothers of Iron or something. The one where is it Brethren of Iron?
Brethren of Iron, yeah.
Yeah, in Legion Astartes, it's the same problem there. And like, that would be a cool way to take Automata, except you have to take a fucking what's it called? A Cortex controller.
Lord or a Praevian as well.
Yeah, you could take a Cortex controller for every 3 Automata. That's like massively restrictive. It's insanely restrictive.
Yeah. Yeah, this is. I mean, it's cool. I would rather they do something with tanks instead of this. Give tanks some like extra buff.
So also it's worth noting in the last edition, it was battle automata units, which meant Vorax, Castellax, and Domitars.
Or Domitars. Got you. Yeah. Now it's just Castellax. So,
now it just specifies Castellax, which is kind of a bummer because like I would actually love to take like a unit of my Domitar in with my Iron Hands, but it's just,
for sure.
It's extremely hard to restrictive to do it.
I suppose though, like getting it will not die is good for when you're
it's not terrible.
Do wounds to you as well, so you can like heal up a bit. That one I think just feels a bit out of place. But
I might actually try that one day. I do have obviously tons of fucking automata, so I could just blast out like fucking 12 automata or something on the table, just see how it goes. But you still got to take your troops, like you still got to take your, are automata better than dreads? And because they're not mechanicum automata, they don't have any way of doing reaction fire and shit like that. So they're just basically,
of course they don't do that.
Basically, just dumb gun engine things that just sit there and shoot in the shooting phase, and that's all. So I don't know. All right, so. Any Iron Fathers or Legion Tech Marines can take a Cortex controller for 15 points each. Whatever.
Yeah, that just makes Castellax easier to use. So, cool. Yep.
And any model with the vehicle unit type in a detachment using this Rite of War gains the Outflank special rule at no additional cost. Now, they also... I hate to be that guy, but they took out the fucking bit where you could swap any Rhino for a Land Raider. Oh, I fucking burned so hard, man. I had fucking so much good shit planned. So yeah, they took out that. Limitations are you can only select a single fast attack choice. And it's fine. And an army in which any detachment is using this Rite of War may not attempt to seize. So
don't mind that one because it's kind of nice for your opponent. And it also means that you can actually you can really plan accordingly.
And you're not really losing. You're not really losing anything either. Like, it's not like anyone ever plans to seize. Like, oh, I'm gonna set up so that if I get to seize, if I seize, you'll be so fucked. Playing some 4D fucking chess here, man. All right.
Play some Logos Lectora Gilliman level chess. Yeah.
So after all that, basically the things you need to hone in on are. Number one, you start with all this shit on the table in your deployment. That all gains stubborn.
Yeah, and then which is amazing. I think.
Very good. Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
Anyone who's been like drop potted on by Night Lords, this fucks off that hatred shit, the hatred penalty. And then number two, you can outflank any vehicle. Did it say any vehicle type? Any model with vehicle unit type in each detachment. So you can't use a Fellblade or something like that, but you could with like outflank any vehicle. So it could be like an Achilles, or it could it could be just some sabers or some shit. But
or like a support squad with Graviton shredders in a Rhino. Outflank it. Those two pesky Scorpiuses that are hiding behind that big piece of terrain that you can't ever shoot. Don't worry, you can just send a little Rhino with a little kill squad in to go and hunt them down.
Yeah, so you gain the right. So basically, any vehicle gains fucking outflank. So that's so fucking good. So if you put your whole army in dedicated transports as well, just like cheap rhinos, you've got like ultimate flexibility. You can just start your heavy tanks on the table and then outflank all your infantry rhino fools, or you could do it the other way around. And then you've also and then if all of your shit is like troops in vehicles and heavy support vehicles, then you probably got some elites choices that you could just throw some automata in for some reason. Have them just to fill in some points. Oh man, I'm fucking 800 points down at this 4,000 point event.
Just throwing like eight more Castellax.
Yeah, throwing fucking 20 Castellax or something. All right. So
this is.
What do you think? Have you run this? Obviously, like what's your take on it?
Oh yeah, this is the one pseudo been running it exclusively. I think I've run Company of Bitter Iron probably 5 or 10 times, and I haven't run any generic ones yet. But I just run this all the time. I just think stubborn in your deployment zone is so useful for playing defensively that it's almost too good to give up. As you said, like if you're playing Night Lords and it's dark at night, all these other variables as well, you just don't care about it. You're absolutely fine to sit where you want, where you're kind of safe, and then when you need to leave, you can. And then because your tank's getting outflanked as well, if there's if you've got an objective in an enemy deployment zone, you can just wait until turn 4 and just arrive on turn 4 with your outflanking score on units and try and score that unit, or you can just try and come on as soon as you can wherever you want. It makes, I find the Iron Hands to be quite a slow legion. I call them like a heavy legion because you generally want to get 3-up invols and you want your special units are all heavy as well. So they're generally quite a slow army, but what this does is it makes you surprisingly fast because it just gives you the ability to outflank, as well as being a really good fire base to just shoot from. I think it's great. I really like this Rite of War. I really like that you can't season it as well. I think that's really cool. Because I think Caesar's a pretty dumb thing to be in the game, personally. And I think, this is...
it's good when you get it there. When you get when you season someone and you just go, suck shit. But then they go, I'm a Night Lords player, so nighttime and a 2+. Oh, damn, it's night. Yeah, but no, I know what you mean. Yeah. I do need to try it. I've got some lists planned. I've got some Land Raiders and stuff. I've got 2 Kratos now.
Perfect.
Having a double outflanking Kratos pair, like a hunting pair, be pretty good because double Kratos. Because the thing is, I can fit double Kratos and double Warmonger into the same army. So I've got some shit that starts on the table. And then 2 Kratos that outflank, and then my Iron Father with the Morlocks. With the Morlocks, and they deep strike. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So then I catch people in this triangular power, basically, where they're just where they're just facing off against one of their flanks or whatever is now 2 flare shielded Kratos, just burning through their shit. And then my Iron Father's just walking towards the HQ, just crushing people, everyone in their way.
Murdering everything.
Just being look, there's some vehicles.
Soul Eater on the Kratos as well.
Yeah.
Siphoning souls into the engine.
Yeah. Necro Technica.
It's quite the mouthful.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. It's like Hecatonistica from the Dark Angels one. Hecatonistica.
Oh man, I can't even try and pronounce that. You are a better man than most for even trying.
No, I've got no idea. I'm just making it up as I go along. I just wait for Andy Hoare to send me a message and go, it's pronounced, whatever. Ecclesiarchy, you fool. But yeah. All right. So, yeah. I think Head of the Gorgon is definitely very good. I think Bitter Iron. I haven't really seen many people dive into Bitter Iron. But I would I can just imagine it on the table. It's just 2 big units of Immortals, 2 or 3 units of Destroyers, just tooled up with disintegrators and shit for just going after Galvor back, and then just fucking we give 0 fucks, and then just double Maratat and whatever character is giving them the Rite of War. And then just
Gravitats hiding in the blocks of Immortals, ready to just jump out when they need.
A couple of Gravitats, and then just grimly just going into shit, and then everyone's got fucking rag grenades and shit, we can throw rag. Yeah, because
of course they would, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because if you put the Maratat in with them, then the whole army could have rag grenades. You just need a Maratat for each, just babysitting each unit of guys. And they're still a fucking, motherfucker in close combat. 4+ vulnerable, 2+ armor save, and a thunderhammer. They're gonna smash some dudes as well.
And they've got hatred as well.
Yeah, hatred. And then everyone has preferred enemy? Oh yeah, no, sorry, hatred traders. Yeah.
So you're actually quite killy in combat at that point.
and then you could paint them up so they're all like chemically damaged and shit. It's sick.
Oh yeah, the armor all running and everything, streaks. Yeah,
Have those like how
just falling apart.
You know how the Immortals have those big the big hand symbol on their shield? Have that just like fucking totally fucked up with like just like it's all been like burned away and shit.
Even a hand at that point. Yeah.
And then Head of the Gorgon, which is fucking all-time classic. Because I had Terminators and I started with Terminators, I had to run Pride of the Legion, but I've been slowly building towards being able to run Head of the Gorgon, and then be able to run more than one HQ choice. Oh, sorry, one heavy support choice, which would be amazing. I'll be able to run my Volket Culverins and double Kratos, for example.
And the Kratos, yeah.
Can
you imagine it? That's so hot, yeah.
Yeah. I've watched a few people play with them. And the thing is, if you're losing the game, you like a lot of games, you're going to be fighting them in your own deployment anyway. You know, like there's a lot of armies like Word Bearers where they're just going to run into your deployment. So the armies where the times where I've mostly seen those Kratos get destroyed, and Kat and I played some TT Sim games, which don't really count. They don't count as real games, but we were playing according to the rules and dice and all that shit and measurements and stuff. They were really durable because of the flare shield, but once they got into combat, then they got fucked up. However, being able to just fucking outflank them into a part of the table where the enemy isn't able to just run up and fucking punch fuck through them with dreadnoughts or whatever, they should be able to just like and that's going to be the key, is like figuring out how to deploy them so that they can get maximum use of their flare shields as well.
100%, yeah. Because as long as you always keep that facing out, you should be fine against lascannon teams and stuff.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to figure out how to make them fucking savage. Because I think I'm going to run them both melter as well, just for maximum beam.
All the melter,
yeah. So Head of the Gorgon, fucking pretty good. Are there any other of the generic Rites of War? I've been running the Pride of the Legion. Are there any other generic Rites of War that you think are worth taking?
Yes, well, I think I'm with you. I think if I was to run another Rite of War, I'd probably run Pride of the Legion, mainly for just vets and terminators. I think that's quite iron handy as well, especially after like Istvaan. I think it would just feel strange. I can't imagine them running a recon company. That feels a bit weird. Jet bikes, don't know. Drop pods could be cool. Subterranean assault could be really cool. In fact, that's probably what I'd try next. I'd probably try subterranean underworld. Is it Underworld? Yeah, Underworld.
The Cursed Termite, Cursed Termites.
Yeah, with just like 4 or 5 termites with like vets in and some like I suppose breacher teams. That's probably the way to go. Also feels quite iron handy, like getting up in your grill and just causing trouble.
Take the Hell's Guy for the Fear Bomb, for Fear.
Yeah, exactly, and then
take
the Soul Eater.
And then the Cursed Termite, He could even just come out of the Cursed Termite. Like, he's got so much Hell's... He's opened so many of Hell's things. What are they called? Hell's boxes or some shit. Way back in the day, before, like, the whole, like, Keys of Femir or whatever they're called were a thing. We ran an event called Siege of Geigenhive, and part of the fluff in that was that Ferrus Manus had hidden all these like special weapons in these stasis vaults in Geigenhive. And it was basically the same thing. Yeah. And then it turns out that's like fluff. That's pretty cool. But Hell, opening up Hell's, what are they called? Hell's Kitchen or something like that?
The Keys of Hell, Hell's Heart as well.
Hell's Heart. Yeah, we've been going for a while now. All right, so overall, fucking extremely sturdy Legion. We've both been using them. We've both been having varied amounts of success. I think I'd have more success if I didn't run just like outrageous strats like double Warmonger and stuff like that. I think if I planned ahead and like played to the objectives, I'd also do a bit of a better job. But I had a lot of my army I'd built for the last edition. So I'm going to slowly build towards. I think like a lot of people get frustrated when they throw down their army from the last edition and then get crushed, and they're like, "Oh, what the fuck? This new edition sucks."
I agree.
And I think only now, like I was saying to the people in Sydney, I was saying to them, like it's only really now. I think like almost 5 months later or 6 months or something. How long? I don't know how long it's been. That we're actually seeing
second edition armies properly. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, people who've built second edition armies from the ground up, or rebuilt like large parts of it for the new edition, and those people,
which I think you and I
success,
certainly had to like, ad hoc our 1.0 armies to be viable in second edition, and now I've had to add quite a lot and like change quite a lot and cut weapons off this and change heads on that and stuff. And now that I've settled into playing 2.0, I feel like the Iron Hands play really well in 2.0. And they're super fun. They're super cool.
Yeah, you can have a full like infantry army. Like I've been running, except for 2 dreadnoughts, everything's infantry, all dreadnoughts, all terminators and heavy teams and rapiers and stuff like that. I found that like what made me take the move to deep strike strats was just being like deep striked on by Emperor's Children and Night Lords just mercilessly. Like, and then I decided like, because I was just marching across the table with my cataphracti guys, just like hoping to engage the enemy, but you're only movement 6, you can't run, so if they don't want to fight you, they just won't fight you. And then the things that they do want to fight you with, things at weapon skill 5 that just outmatch you, or dreadnoughts and shit like that just pick on you. So I was just constantly getting outmaneuvered there. So then I decided, like, if I take deep strike, or at least I'll be able to counter deep strike if people fuck on me, or I'll be able to deep strike into their backline and hopefully do some carnage, and I pretty much always just go for the deep strike into their backline and do some carnage option. Just because it's more flavorful. But what I was finding is until I put a couple of dreadnoughts in, like I do have 2 dreadnoughts with the conversion beamers and Graviton Fist, until I put them in, my line, like dreadnoughts would just get up to my line and just punch the fuck through all my shit. The only thing I found to counter a dreadnought was another dreadnought. Otherwise you have to just invest there's a few Terminator squads and things like that. They can just fuck a dreadnought up without taking much damage, but Iron Hands we're pretty well equipped to deal with them with all the massive like haywire and shit. But I don't know, even so, until I put a couple of dreadnoughts in to really strengthen my line, like I was really suffering, I felt like, for a while there, especially in the early games.
I had similar. So like early on I was running melter cannon contemptors with Gravs in the Fist, just because land raiders were just rolling up on me all the time. Just like, I've fucking had enough of this, so come towards me and I'll blow you up, or I'll just come at you, and that worked really well. I think adding what they don't really do very well is fighting combat. So I think, as you said, adding like contemptors in to kind of like improve that helped a lot. And now that we can take Morlocks, it's definitely time to lean into combat a bit more.
Fuck yeah. Time to turn the tides. Not having those weapons, not having those weapon skill 5 Terminators, it's just such a fucking bull egg. I mean, you could take a command squad, but like I didn't realize how big weapon skill would be until like I played it, and I was like, oh my god, weapon skill chart now is so big, it's so different to how it was, and having a weapon skill 5 unit that can actually fight is massive, absolutely huge. It's one of the big things about Castellax now, like only being weapon skill 3, they suffer so much when they get hit in combat. Like just basic just get clowned on,
tactical marines, just blow them to pieces. They just auto hit with crack grenades and don't ever get hit back. It's absolutely crazy.
And crack grenades are AP3, so they're only getting a 5+ save. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. They just blow them to pieces.
Yeah, so it's definitely been an adjustment. Like the I think like when I started doing, so this was more than 20 weeks ago that we started doing, 18 and then over Christmas and shit, and I missed a few weeks, but so it's been more than 18 weeks essentially of the meta developing, and I think like only just now, by the time we've finished this Legions, like the first 18 Legions, only just now, like we said, we're starting to see the fruits of people's labor, people analyzing the rules, going through them, and starting to run like some way more like sort of tuned up stuff for the edition, I would say.
100%.
So interesting. Where's the game gonna go next? See what these new campaign books and shit, these rumored campaign books coming out will be like.
The fabled ones that are being whispered upon. Yes.
So how many do you think there's going to be new? Just have a guess, and like I've called you for almost 3 hours, so I don't want to keep you for too long with this thing that I just thought up out of nowhere right now.
We can talk about Iron Hands. I'll be here all day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But what do you reckon is going to be in the campaign book? Like what around the traps is that it's a Imperial Fist and Sons of Horus themed campaign book.
Yeah, so I think that is the logical thing because they're now like the poster boys of the heresy. But I do think there's an interesting potential left wing almost shot in that the Salamanders, the Raven Guard, and the Iron Hands, all 3 of those legions haven't got the new Praetors that most others have. So doing an Istvaan 5 campaign book, releasing those 3 legions special Praetors alongside it could be a really cool thing. So I'm going to go with an Istvaan 5 campaign book. Will be the next thing. With progressive scoring missions. So
but in this Imperial Fist versus Sons of Horus thing.
Yep.
What do you think? Do you think it's going to be like? And here's 6 new units for the Sons of Horus, and
can you imagine? Yeah,
6 new units.
What about like a new Dreadnought? A new Dreadnought could be cool.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be that there, or like? Because is it going to be? I don't know what it's going to be. I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'd like to see Cortus's return. And I like the idea of like.
So you're going new units for all Legion as well as Legion specific shit as well. Oh.
I suppose as well, like
maybe Imperial Fist will get some new Rites of War. They need
maybe they've only got 3, so they probably need at least 3 more. So that would that'll be interesting. But also as well, I think how like towards the end of first edition, in the black books, like White Scars got the special Landspeeder.
Yeah.
Blood Angels got their unique Dreadnought.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if they revisited some of the early legions, and both Fists and Sons of Horus were quite early actually. They were like book 2 and 3, I think. But maybe they'd go back and give them both like a unique vehicle of some form, or like a Dreadnought, as well as maybe a new infantry unit. I can't think what else they'd. Both of them have quite a lot already. They got quite a lot of special characters, quite a lot of special units. Maybe adding like a new vehicle onto /Dreadnought onto either of those legions could be on the horizon.
Well, I think it's going to be there will be Templar Brethren on robotic horses. And I think
of course.
And then I think Sons of Horus, Sons of Horus are gonna have like big like riding wolves, but like a chaos wolf that they'll ride on. That's my prediction. Riding beast.
Yeah.
Riding beast meta.
Luperkai riding beast.
Riding beast 30k meta. Yeah.
And Templars on horses, or maybe jet bikes.
Can't be long. Be fucking cool as well. Have a giant riding beast.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay. Excellent. Thanks so much, Will, for coming on. It's been awesome.
Very much for having me. It's truly a pleasure.
Now you are a merchant, Princeling.
One of the 3 alongside powerful Tom Sargent and delicious Giles King. Yeah.
Giles, yeah, and Tom Sargent. So check out the Merchant Princelings podcast on all of the places that you can find Eye of Horus, I'm sure, and also other places maybe as well. Yeah. So we're on
Spotify and iTunes, I think. I don't think we're on any others. But saying that, I don't know anything about it. So Giles is our media management man. So he's the one that does all the like cool stuff on Instagram. I don't really understand it personally. I I need to go back to school and plug into the cogitator banks and learn how this technology works.
Learn social media. Yeah. I couldn't figure out how to get hold of you on social media. I had to send Tom Sargent a message and go, "What's going on?" No, I think he messaged me actually, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like how do I get in contact with this rascal? How do I get in contact with Mr. the Destroyer?"
Yeah. This year, I will endeavour to improve my Instagram page more. So
you got to treat it as a phase, man. Yeah, after the movement phase is the Instagram phase, and you take photos of all your stuff before you assault. And then
that's literally why they got rid of the psychic phase.
Yeah,
for that phase,
for the Instagram phase, and then at the end of the turn, right before you do your fucking it will not dies, and suck all those wounds back. You just
great idea.
Just take a photo of where you killed shit. You know, like this is how the battlefield looks like. Yeah.
Just
take a photo of it,
iron hand precision.
Yeah, take an eye and like a hawk's eye view or whatever. Cyber familiar's eye view of the table. But yeah, like thanks so much for coming on, dude. It's been good. I think people enjoy this episode. I had a good time. We both had a good time. I had so much fun. Yeah. Talking about Iron Hands is always a good time. Like, they're just the fucking most... we're going to get back into it. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks, man. Fully painted is for closers.